Good morning, good morning, good morning. I don't, okay, I see the counter, but I don't see anybody in chat. And I heard someone else say they were having a hard time seeing their chat. So, anyway, I am live this morning and I want to bring an update on Audrey Cunningham. So, the medical examiner has determined that Audrey died of homicidal blunt force trauma. And I was thinking that she was strangled. This is even worse. She was beaten to death, is what happened. Um, they've determined, of course, we know that she was killed the same day that she went missing. And the fact that Don Stephen McDougal, who used to walk her to school, well, not walk her to school, walk her to the bus stop. He had a record, a lengthy record. He's reported to be a neo-Nazi with ties to the Aryan Brotherhood. He only served he had a 2-year sentence, which 157 days were credited for his enticement of a child who spoke out. And I showed you that interview. She's now 20. And I said it. That's a capital murder offense, and that's exactly what he's been charged with. He's been charged with capital murder. Capital murder in Texas is an automatic death sentence. That's the trial that they're doing. It's a death penalty case, not an automatic death sentence. It's a death sentence trial, but that's what that is. So that's Audrey. And this is sad. So when he was already in custody for an unrelated assault charge, and that's where he had allegedly stabbed someone on February 16th. Well, he was sitting in the jail on February 16th. They picked him up. So Nancy Grace did a live on it, and she interviewed the gas station attendant who phoned it in because she saw him in a store. She said that when they described him as being dirty, he wasn't that dirty. It was just something about his eyes that really, really bothered her. So my chat has popped up. This is crazy. Good morning, Colleen with the K. Good morning, Snuggle Bunny, Patricia, Stacy A, Pat, Wisco Gal, Susan, Gwen, Carol. Let me see. I said it. Cranky. Okay. So that's the update on Audrey. Now, I have the sentencing for R.Franke and Jodi Hildebrandt, and I also have the story on the 13 men that was arrested in Harris County, Texas, which is off of FM 1960, but it's off. I was on East FM 1960. This is just FM 1960. They were arrested for trafficking, and I was like, wait a minute. Never saw none of that on FM. Then I had to go back and look at the address. So it's on the other side of 59. And they were arrested. I have that story. I have the sentencing for them. And it's just really, this is really, really sad. These people, and then Ivan Cantu, who is scheduled to be executed in Texas on February 28th. So Ivan was arrested back in 2001 for killing his cousin and his cousin's fiance. Kim Kardashian has led this whole petition, his campaign, to free Ivan. Ivan stated, I remember that case clearly, that he was set up by rival drug dealers and framed for those killings. So next week, Wednesday, unless the governor steps in, even if the board recommends a stay or look for new evidence, it still lies with the governor. And I have not known the governor to sign off on any stay of execution. Well, except for his name just escaped me, and that went to the Supreme Court. But they've gathered over 100,000 signatures. 100,000 signatures. And they're pushing for him to be free. But what I didn't see is the Innocence Project step into this case. So we'll see. Hi, Peace and Struggle. So let's get into which one do you want to see first? Do you want to see about the 13 men that were arrested for trafficking? Or do we want to listen to the sentencing? I've listened to it. When you guys hear Ruby Frank get up there and call her kids, her 6 little chicks, and all this other BS she's saying, it's completely ridiculous. She's saying that she was saved when the handcuffs were put on her. I'm like, girl, you are putting this shit on too damn thick. She is really putting it on thick. So do you want to hear Ruby, or do you want to hear Peace and Struggle? Good morning. Snake, good morning. I don't see Snake. I don't see Snake, but I see the name. I don't see Snake. Care Bear, good morning. I don't see Snake. I'm sorry, my chat is not working too well, but okay, there's Snake. She just popped in. Good morning. So do we want to listen to Ruby Frank first? I think we should do Ruby Frank. Let's just knock her out really quick. Or no. Harris, the 13 men, that's quicker. And that way we can really pay attention to Ruby Frank. Let's see, 13. Let's see, Harris County. Here we go. Prostitution ring. Prostitution whore. All righty, hold on. Let me get this.
Repeat violent offenders who are walking around on multiple bonds.
Randy Wallace in behind.
Okay, hold on. Let me turn this down, and then as soon as it starts, I had it queued, but once you come out of it and you let it sit for more than 15 minutes, you lose. You have to go back through the commercials. So hold on a second. Let me share my. Okay, there we go. Let me get out of here. Full screen for you guys. And here we go.
Women believed to have been trafficked for sex rescued.
Fox 26's Dominique Keith is live tonight where the sting operation unfolded. She has a conversation with the Harris County Precinct 4 constable you'll see only on Fox. Dominique.
Yeah, Tom and Caroline, prostitution became such a problem here along FM 1960. Residents began calling the Harris County Precinct 4 Constable's office, who then saturated the area.
See, this is coming up off of 59.
And even saving several sex trafficking victims.
Our effort is to push, this
and
type
45.
of illicit activity out of our area, away from our schools,
Good morning,
away from our churches, away from our communities, because we know
Snake, you're
this type
ill.
of activity
I'm sorry to hear that.
breeds other crimes.
Several of the 13 men arrested in the bust and charged with soliciting prostitution are also said to have committed other crimes, such as drug possession.
One of them was carrying a gun. One of them had a felony warrant out for his arrest.
Harris County Precinct 4 Constable's office ran this sting after receiving
1960.
complaints from the community about prostitution along FM 1960 between Kirkendall and the Hardy on the street and inside.
So Kirkendall runs perpendicular. So you're coming up off of 45, you can exit Kirkendall, or on 59 if you exit FM 1960. So that's where that's at. And there's a lot of businesses over there too.
Certain businesses.
We went after basically the supply side of prostitution and the demand side. Supply would be going into massage parlors. Several of our undercover officers were offered sex.
A few massage parlors here in Northwest Harris County have now been shut down. Places where Precinct 4 Constable Mark Herman says sex was for sale by women who say they were brought to this country and forced to sell their bodies.
They made outcry that they're being human trafficked for sex and having to pay back debts.
The prostitution along 1960 is said to have been happening all hours of the day.
So it's 24/7 situation.
It's just actually very scary.
This mother and daughter are thankful for the crackdown.
So we're Northwest Mallings. I'm
not a very
shocked.
safe area to leave, to go out,
To walk around.
to walk around.
The message, to our community is we hear you, we're listening to you.
The constable says the people arrested aren't even from the area, and he says to anyone planning to come here for illegal activity,
Before you solicit sex from somebody you see on the side of the road, be careful, because it might be an undercover police officer. And all 13 of these people we arrested, they got a lesson on that.
and the charge of soliciting prostitution is no longer a misdemeanor. It's now a state
State-
jail felony with
it's a
higher
felony.
bonds and stiffer penalties. And the constable says you can expect a whole lot more of these sting operations until the criminal activity is gone. Reporting live in Northwest Harris County, I'm Damalie Keith, Fox 26 News.
So that leads me back to Tanya Jackson, the little girl that had ran away from Waxahachie, Texas. She was found in Dallas in this motel where it's known for drug trafficking and sex trafficking. That leads me to that. Please smash the like button. Snake, I was looking. I didn't know you had been sick, sweetie. I'm sorry. I hope you're feeling better. Damn it, Mandy. Good morning. Lauren Marie. And I saw someone else at the corner of my eye. Wendy Wu. Wendy Wu. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. So you're looking at all of these young girls that are now going missing. Are there, some of them are being labeled as a runaway. I've been looking at different stories, and there is a board in Texas with all of the missing young girls, young women, and there are a few men on there as well. And I wrote that down the other day because I really, really want to take a look at that and see. Some of these young women have been missing for like 4 or 5 years. So I really want to take a look at that and see exactly, because if they're, so this is not the first time that they've done these things in Houston. One was done about 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, where there was a house in Southeast Houston that had over 21 young women and men that were brought over here, and they were being housed and used for sex trafficking. That was a big bust they did in Houston, and I covered that. And I remember when I did that story, and I did the thumbnail on it, and just to say, the Bee thought I was talking about her, but it was a real case. So I am going to do that in March, right after March. I will be taking 2 weeks. I think it's 2 weeks. I'm taking off. 3 days I'm actually going to be here before I fly out. So I'm going to be looking into that and probably going to be doing lives on that, or I can do like sections of it so we can do a continuation of each story. And Danny gave me a good idea once before. She said I should do shorts on the stories that I'm going to be covering. That way everybody has time to look into the stories, and that way they'll know and understand exactly what I'm talking about. Good morning, Midwest Mobsters. Good morning. Welcome. So that's a good idea. And when I put the thumbnail up ahead of time, I put the thumbnail up for Drew Peterson, and then I had to reschedule it. People actually had time to go refresh themselves with that case to see what was going on. I'm still gathering notes on the Innocence Project and which I did say, the evidence that they were actually looking at, which is the same evidence that was presented in the case. I don't see anything new. I don't see anything new. So maybe I'm missing something, but I'll get a chance to probably do a deep dive when I get back here later on this evening. I also want to talk about Danny Masterson for a while. There were stories out that Danny Masterson had gotten beaten up in prison. They jumped him when the guards were there. There's a source from that prison that says that Danny Masterson was never supposed to be at Cochran. The place he was supposed to be, which was 5 Colony, had no room. So he was transferred from the other prison to Cochran. And then once a bed opened up for him, he was transferred to 5 Colony. Do I believe that? No. Do I believe that they would jump him when there are guards around him or 2 guards? No. Do I believe there was a plan to get him just like they did with Jeffrey Dahmer? Yes. So I've never known them to transfer you to one prison and then wait. I mean, this was not a hospital, and then wait for a bed to open up to transfer, because they don't care how overcrowded they are. So there is something else going on behind that story, and I keep digging. So the facility he's being transferred to is a mental health facility. It's a minimum security prison. He doesn't have any mental health issues besides the fact that he liked to attack women. He doesn't have any mental health issues. So that's where he's at. And I think he was put there because of his celebrity status. Okay. So, and that's probably a deal that was worked out, because he was probably scared to come out of his damn cell while he was there. And he needs to have his ass beaten. Then you have Mia Kunis and Ashton Kutcher, who says that they're leaving Hollywood. They're going to leave the solitude life. Your dumbasses is the one that put that letter out there, and you wrote all of that for his upstanding, being a father, upstanding friend, when you, Ashton and Mia, were fully aware, because I'm sure you were up in the higher echelons of the Church of Scientology. You knew what kind of shit that Danny was doing. It was even stated that you were at some of the parties where he was at when all of this was going on. But you said that he's the one that kept you out of trouble. I can't wait to see what shit comes out about you. So that's it on that. What did Snake say? Who cares? Bye, Ashton. You better have. So I'm just saying that I don't believe he has mental health issues. I don't believe it. I just don't believe it. I think he's getting, even though he's in prison, he's still getting a slap on the wrist, because I would put his ass out in general population and let's see what happens to it. You know, put him out there. Okay. Let's get to Ruby Frank. Let's get to Ruby Frank. So I need you guys to really, good morning, Scottish Deborah. Hollywood left as he does a lot of producing and he does a lot of directing. He's got a lot of shows out. They're on Netflix. They're on it's the streaming services. He has a lot of shows out that he produces and everything. Well, you see, they made this big statement about they had no idea. Bitch, if you sat in that courtroom or if you even followed that trial, you knew the evidence. You didn't even have to be in the courtroom because you know all of that shit was being discussed during your meetings at the Church of Scientology. But they're the ones that push you to write this letter during his sentencing phase. Your dumb ass didn't think for yourselves, scared of being, how do they say it for the Church of Scientology? Not marked, not excommunicated. I forgot the word they use. You were scared. Those people don't do shit for you. You're the one that's supporting that church. They don't give a flying fuck about you. And I really don't think that John Travolta is a member of that church anymore. He just hasn't come out and said it. When he took his wife to MD Anderson in Texas, they were pissed. Good morning, Gator Hater. It is so nice to see you again. Yes, on the ranch. That's it. Well, that's his show. That is Aston's show, The Ranch. And then he has another one. I can't think of the name of it, but that is Aston's show. So, I don't want to hear nothing about that, because you are well aware of all of this stuff that was being said about him from years. When he first went to trial, you knew about it. He was with some other woman. He wasn't with his wife at that time. Then when he gets the retrial, because it was a mistrial, all of a sudden, here she is. Bajan pops back up in the picture again, and she's standing by her man. As soon as his ass was convicted, she ran and filed. And then they said date of separation. She never put it in there because they weren't together when he went to that first trial. Bitch ass people. They were scared of not being invited to Tom's house for a good game of hide and seek. Good morning, Shyla. Shyla, I saw some earrings on your IG that I really want to buy. Guys, I don't know if you guys follow Shyla on IG. Shyla has, that's the name of her IG. She has some beautiful earrings and stuff. So, so I'm just saying that these people need to stop with, they didn't know. They didn't know. You knew. Everybody in that church knew. Your whole thing was surrounding him and trying to intimidate the witnesses. They were still intimidating these women when they were in court. And now the court has ordered that their lawsuit can go forward against the Church of Scientology, and they're still harassing these women. But they're standing strong, and I can't wait to see if Danny Masterson turns on that church, because they have kicked his ass out. They have kicked his ass out. So let's see, because he was convicted of 2. There was another one that they didn't convict him on, but they left that one like open. So let's see what happens. Yeah, well, damn it, Mandy, they weren't even together. Whether she files a divorce to protect their assets or not, they can name her in the lawsuit as well. Just like when Paul Murdaugh was Cade, and Maggie were Cade. The original lawsuit had Alec Murdaugh, Paul Murdaugh, the Parker convenience store, and it was one more. No, it was just 3. Once Paul was Cade, Maggie's name was on there too. Once Paul was Cade, they went into court. They added Buster's name to it. So they added Buster's name to it. So it doesn't matter what she's trying to do. What got Maggie Cade, which I'm sure they were going to Cade Paul anyway, was when she hired that forensic accountant, and they went through the books, and she saw the money that Alex had been stealing, embezzling. She saw it. She left him. So his dumbass didn't know that he can be tracked by his truck, his comings and goings. They have him there in the truck with the OnStar system. They have him opening and closing the door. They have him speeding away, going to his mom's house. They have him coming back and making a phone call. Hey, I just found my wife and son, Cade. And even though we have you on Snapchat at the dog kennel, which you're faking like you weren't there, you just took a guess that they were down there. Bullshit. Bullshit. And I do believe his brother might know something too, because that one brother was not in court. I do believe that one brother knows something because it was 2 different guns. So what is he going to do? Pull one gun and pow, 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 and then Maggie starts running away. He goes to the truck and grab another gun and pow, pow her. Good morning, Jody. There is, and they can track all of that, Colleen. No, the church did not have him moved to another prison. The church has cut ties. I'm trying to think of the name that the Church of Scientology use when they excommunicate a member. They did not have him moved at all. I think that was a thing that his attorney did, and the fact that he has this celebrity status. I think that was the deal that they made with the Prison and Pardons Board to have him in that, because you go to jail and you've been, R the children, king children, R women, if you, let's say you did an armed robbery, you a serial. Oh no, but when it comes to women and kids, yeah, they're not putting him in general population. So, yeah, it's a cult. I can't think of the name they use when it's not excommunication. It's like when they blacklist you, because they actually came out and said it. So the church has nothing to do with him anymore, because now he has shined the light back on the church. His wife supposedly was found, but the fingerprints were too faint to match. Shelley's, what's her name? Shelley Maskovich. She hasn't been seen since her father's funeral. It's been 14 years. 14 years. David Maskovich's father, he left the Church of Scientology, and they hunted him down. He bust through the gate to get out of there. So, they might have her hidden away somewhere because she wants to leave, and that's not a good image for David Maskovich. Good morning, Dan. Good morning, Stacy A. So that's not a good look. So let's get on to this. Let's get on to Ruby Franke and Jodi Hildebrandt. And I want you guys to really pay attention. Yes, it's been 14 years since her father's funeral. She has not been seen. Almost 15 now. Let's see. But then after her sentencing, Ruby Franke said that the judge was pure Satan. I'm like, wait a minute. You just gave this crying thing in court, and how you've come to understand this. Hold on, let me share my screen. I think the bitch should. Oh, it is there. I'm sorry. I am so lost this morning. I have a lot of shit that I need to. As soon as I finish this, I have to get dressed and get on the move. The weather is nice here, so I've been trying to get out and hang with everybody that was asking me to go do this, go do that, and I kept making excuses. Now I have no more excuses. This is just waiting for them to come into court, so I bypassed all of that. So wait a minute, let's start here. All right, we're ready.
John Walton presiding. You may be seated.
Notice their audio is great for this courtroom. Their audio is great.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to District Court.
Look at Ruby.
We're here for sentencing in the matter of State of Utah versus Ruby Franke. Ms. Franke is here with Mr. Windward. Mr. Clark and Mr. Sham are here for the State of Utah. And we are ready to proceed with sentencing.
We are. Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, the terms of the sentence were agreed to as part of the plea agreement, correct?
That is correct.
There is a pre-sentence investigation report in the matter. I have reviewed that. Everyone has seen it.
Yes.
What about restitution, counsel, before we move on with other matters?
Thank you so
We'd
much.
like to leave that open at this time, Your Honor.
Oh, Ruby Franke. Okay, Ruby Frank and her co-defendant, Jody Hildebrandt. Jody has this program for kids. She abused her children. Let's just say that. She abused the children. The woman that she hired to be her mentor and to help her with her kids was abusing them, tying them up. You're going to hear it. They're going to talk about it here.
I can get into that. I might be more.
Oh, before I do that, just so you guys know, in the state of Utah, there is a cap on sentencing. Even though she's going to be doing consecutive sentences, there's a cap. The board of parole and they determine the maximum. She is set for maximum of 30, but it's consecutive, so she may not serve all of that. So just wanted to let you guys know that.
More comfortable if we approach to get into that.
Is there an agreement that restitution, that we reserve that and for what period of time?
8 months is what we're anticipating, but I haven't talked to the defendant's counsel about that.
We haven't discussed that, Your Honor.
Is there any objection?
No.
All right. What's the state's position regarding sentencing?
Your Honor, I'll stand up. The state respectfully requests that the court sentence Ms. Franke to consecutive prison terms for each of the 4 counts of aggravated child abuse. This sentence was agreed to by Ms. Franke in her plea agreement and is also recommended by adult probation and parole. She committed horrible acts of child abuse. From May to August in 2023, Ms. Franke and her business partner held her 2 children, ages 9 and 11, turning 12, in a concentration camp-like setting. The children were regularly denied food, water, beds to sleep in, and virtually all forms of entertainment. They were isolated from others and were hidden when people came to visit the house where the children and the defendants were staying. The children were forced to do physical tasks like carrying loaded boxes up and down stairs and wall sits or sitting against a wall without a chair or stool for hours at a time. They were also forced to do manual labor outdoors in the extreme summer heat, at times without shoes or socks. They were forced to stand outside on a cement patio in the summer heat for hours and even days at a time. They were beaten, and the 12-year-old was regularly bound hand and foot after he attempted to run away in mid-July. Both children had extensive physical injuries from the abuse that required hospitalization when they were found. The injuries from the binding to the 12-year-old are particularly awful. In addition to physical abuse, the children were emotionally abused to the extent that each believed, to some degree, that they deserved what was being done to them. Had the older of the children not had the courage to run away and ask a neighbor to call the police, heaven only knows how much longer he could have survived in that situation. After being caught, Ms. Franke has shown considerable remorse, as evidenced by agreeing to serve consecutive prison terms and being willing to cooperate with the state against Ms. Hildebrandt.
Yes,
however, given the severity of the abuse she inflicted, consecutive terms are appropriate in this case. As the court's aware, Section 76-3401 lays out factors the court takes into account in determining whether consecutive or concurrent sentences
Our hand is down.
Those factors are the gravity and circumstances of the offense, the number of victims, and the history, character, and rehabilitative needs of the defendant.
See, her lawyer is trying to shield her from the cameras. Look, she's sitting right next to her lawyer so you can't see her. She scooted all the way up. Her lawyer is shielding her.
As agreed to in the plea agreement and as recommended by adult probation and parole, consecutive sentences are appropriate. This is due to the severity of the abuse to both victims. It could be argued that Ms. Franke should receive a lesser sentence than Ms. Hildebrandt because of her remorse and willingness to cooperate with the state. However, the Board of Pardons and Parole will have broad latitude and will be able to take those facts into account when it determines how long each of the co-defendants will remain incarcerated. In conclusion, we respectfully request that the court go along with what was agreed to in the plea agreement and is recommended by adult probation and parole and impose consecutive sentences.
Thank you. Anything else from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Windward?
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning. In my few comments this morning, and in the comments my client wishes to make in a few minutes, we are not suggesting, nor are we asking that the court deviate from the stipulated sentence contained in the written plea agreement.
They're saying that 4 were abused. They found 2, the other 2, but they're saying the 4 youngest ones. So, but she's only being accused of the one that was found that ran away, the other one that they found tied up. And I don't know if you guys ever saw the video where they found her other 2 daughters at a friend of hers house when she supposedly had to go out of town. But that's the day that she and Jody were arrested. And I mean, that video is something you want to watch. Her daughters are over at this lady that she knows because the lady started following them, and she would go to their little the little gatherings that they would have, and that's how she met Ruby Franke, and that's how she got acquainted with the other 2 daughters, and they were found at her home. And there was all kind of cops coming there. They put the lady in handcuffs, put her in the backseat of the car. It was 2 hours later before the other people showed up to question her, to take the girls away. So that video, I'm going to find it right now. I'm going to drop it in the chat so you guys can go watch it. So let me see, can I find that video?
I want the court to know that through introspection and reflection, Ruby Franke has become a serious student of her own actions. In the very early days of my involvement with Ruby, she was somewhat defensive, and she was still very much indoctrinated into a philosophy that was destructive. Fortunately, Ruby came to the stark realization of the errors in her thinking patterns and subsequent actions.
Got it.
To say that she was horrified by this realization would be to put it mildly. I have marveled at how quickly Ruby abandoned her defensive stance and moved toward her total acceptance of her actions and to her sentence today. So far, she has used her time in jail to unwrap the layers upon layers of deceit and deception foisted upon her over the last 4 years by an unscrupulous individual. Ruby realizes that she still has work to do in shedding those thinking errors and to reestablish a better and correct pattern of thinking and behavior.
Okay, I just dropped the link to the video. It's 1 hour and 56 minutes long. Yeah, it was almost 2 hours before the other cop showed up, but 1 hour and a half. Then there's another 30 minutes of the shit that's going on with them talking to the girls. So, yeah, so that's that. So that's the link to the video that I was telling you about. That's Ruby Franke. She's from 8 Passengers. She's the one that was abusing her kids along with her mentor, Jody Hildebrandt.
Ruby realizes that changing her thinking, reestablishing relationships,
Good morning,
and healing are not simple or easy tasks. However, she is committed to doing that work. I would like the court to know that Ruby Franke is a delightful, respectful, and responsible person. She is open to feedback and addressing the consequences of her actions head on.
Get the fuck out of here.
And now ready to address your honor and accept your judgment.
Captain.
Thank you, Judge Walton.
Thank you. Ms. Franke has a statement she'd like to make.
Okay. She's a respectful person. She allowed that shit to go on with her kids. She herself had those kids standing outside. And by the way, with no shoes on too. Had those kids standing outside on a cement patio in a hot summer. She's the one that had these kids carrying boxes that were loaded with all kind of stuff up and down the stairs as punishment to follow what her mentor was telling her to do. She allowed that shit. She's not respectable.
She does.
No, he's not court appointed.
Judge Walt.
You don't have to bend down.
Okay, thank you. I would like to make a statement without any intent to change my stipulated sentence. For the past 4 years, I've chosen to follow counsel and guidance that has led me into a dark delusion. My distorted version of reality went largely unchecked as I would isolate from anyone who challenged me. I was led to believe that this world was an evil place, filled with cops who control, hospitals that injure, government agencies that brainwash,
Her sister said that's
church
a lie.
leaders who lie and lust, husbands who refuse to protect, and children who need abused. My choice to believe and behave this paranoia culminated into criminal activity for which I stand before you today ready to take accountability. Jodi Hildebrandt was never my business partner, nor was I ever employed by her. I have never received wages from her or connections. Jodi was employed as my son's counselor in 2019, and in 2020, I paid her to be my mentor. It is important to me to demonstrate my remorse and regret without blame. I take full accountability for my choices, and it is my preference that I serve a prison sentence. Thank you to the officers in Santa Clara and the Ivan City Police, Nick Hellman, Brian Palufo, Cy Pikyavit, Mike Pondoyo in Tobler, John Ward, D. Lewis, and Chief Flowers. You were the angels who came and saved my children. I especially want to thank Detective Jay Bate. She plucked me out of a situation I didn't know how to get out of. And the moment she handcuffed me was the moment I gained my freedom. You were not the controlling ones. I was. Thank you to the medical staff at Intermountain Hospital. Your skill, tenderness, and professionalism helped heal my children. Jodi and I inflicted the injuries, not the hospital. Thank you to DCFS, the Children's Justice Center, Judge Basil, and other key adults. You've gathered my children under your wing and offered them love,
No, she doesn't.
encouragement.
Wait till she says that.
You were not the ones who were doing the brainwashing. Thank you to my Bishop Tom Hawks and my state president, Jim Nelson, for reminding me.
Okay, she's thanking all these people. Like I said when I started, wait till she gets to her children. Damn it, Mandy, we're going to talk about the husband after we do the sentencing.
Of the Lord's love for the lost. So much pain and suffering would have been avoided had I followed and heeded your counsel. I was the one who was deceived, not you. Thank you to the Washington County Prosecutor's Office, Ryan Sham, the legal assistants and discovery clerks. Eric Clark, you exemplified to me how justice and mercy are meant to coexist. My charges are just. They offer safety to my family, accountability to the public, and they did show mercy to me. Thank you to my attorney, Lamar Winward, and his staff. I would not be where I am today without them. Thank you to Randy Kester for your limitless energy in healing my family. My dear friends, Pam and Roy, I'm so sorry for letting you down. Because of your association with me, your innocence was called into question. My mother-in-law, father-in-law, Kevin's family, my cousins, aunts, uncles, nieces, nephews, and neighbors, you all saw the warning signs long before I did, and you did what you could. You wanted to help, but I pushed you away.
Oh, God.
My mother and father, I have been utterly wretched to you.
Yes,
you have offered me unconditional love, and for that I have offered you unconditional contempt. My siblings and their spouses, because of my decision to roll around in a pigsty, I've dragged your families through the mud in public. Yet, when I desired to return as the prodigal sister, unlike the prodigal's brother in the Bible, you synced step with my parents and ran out to greet me. Your capacity to love is unprecedented. Kevin, my husband of more than 23 years, you are the love of my life.
Oh,
I'm so sorry to leave to you to finish what we both started together. The ending of our marriage is a tragedy. And you are wrapped around my heart
Oh my
in a
God.
knot I'll never be able to undo. To my babies, my 6 little chicks, you are part of me. I was the mama duck who was consistently waddling you to safety. I can see now that over the past 4 years, I was in a deep undercurrent that led us to danger. I would never have led you to darkness knowingly. I was so disoriented that I believed dark was light and right was wrong. I would do anything in this world for you. My willingness to sacrifice all for you was masterfully manipulated into something very ugly.
Okay, she was the mama duck that was always there leading them to protection. Okay, her little chickadees, her little chicks, all 6 of them. Okay. I had to stop it. When I got to her, I was laughing so hard. I said, what the fuck? She think the president, she think the guy. She wrote a speech, an Academy Award speech. Hi, Pat. Hi, Cree. Good morning.
I took from you all that was soft and safe and good.
Oh my God.
I took from you your mother.
Oh God.
How terrifying this must have been for you.
Please hit the like button. Hi, Mari.
I will never stop crying for hurting your tender souls. You are each so precious to me.
She's doing a performance vault. Okay, she's performing. Her sentence has already been negotiated. Well, yeah, they took a sentencing deal. She is performing now. This woman is going to get an Academy Award. Doesn't this remind somebody of Switch Witch? You know, the crying at the right places and everything else. Okay, let's go.
I'm sorry. My choice to live in fear of the world has created a great vulnerability and a blind spot for me.
Yeah, he did. He turned around and
where
looked.
I have broken hearts and I've caused people to suffer and I have betrayed sacred trust. Watching my community respond to my charges with justice and mercy and grace and love is all the more evidence to me of how wrong I've been. This world is full of really good people.
Yes, it is.
And finally, I'm sorry for twisting God's word and distorting his doctrines.
Okay.
My greatest desire is to stand in his court someday spotless and confident.
Not one love for her children, right?
Judge Walton, I know
30 maximum.
Standing before you today is a necessary step towards.
Okay. They gave her 4 consecutive for 15 years. So she really has 60 years. The max is 30 because in the state of Utah, there's a cap on consecutive sentencing. So she had 15 years for each count and they were going to be served consecutively. So that's 60 years. So she maxes out at 30 in the state of Utah. She can be released at that time. Or maybe they might give her 28 once they have a look. But she was sentenced to 4 counts, 15 years per count. And that's consecutively.
To that end, thank you to you and your staff
more than one
for facilitating my opportunity to take accountability and to answer for my charges. I am humbled and willing to serve a prison sentence as long as it takes to continue unraveling all of the misinformation I have believed and bought, swallowed, and acted out, and for my family to heal and for the community to heal. And I understand this is going to take time.
It's going to take time for everybody to forget that I abused my children. And I'm thinking the governor, the prosecutor's office, the clerks of the court, All the good people that freed me when they put the handcuffs on me, because now I see the light and I know what I did was fucked up. Okay.
I'm committed to continuing my learning until all of my toxic layers are shed and I am ready to re-enter as a contributing member of our beautiful society.
No, we don't want you.
Thank you, Judge Walton.
Thank you for your statement, Ms. Franke. Anything else, Mr. Winward?
No, Your Honor.
Anything else prior to the court imposing sentence?
Let's get it.
No, Your
When
Honor.
Jody comes in.
The sentence will be that Ms. Franke serve 4 counts, 4 1 to 15-year sentences based on her convictions for 4 counts of aggravated child abuse. Again, they will serve consecutive.
So they said 1 to 15, but her maximum is 30. So that's the way it is. She can't do 60 because there's a cap on it. But if she gets less than 15 years, when the prison, because when she goes there, they're going to decide her sentence. He imposed the sentence of 1 to 15. Now the prison board will decide how long that is. So I think she needs to get all 15, which is a 30-year cap. So we'll see.
Be served consecutively pursuant to the parties' agreement and the applicable statute. Under the applicable statute, the court finds that that consecutive sentences are appropriate. Ms. Franke, the last thing I do need to tell you is that you have only 30 days to file or to perfect an appeal of any errors of the court by filing a written notice of appeal with the clerk of the court. If you don't do that within 30 days, you will lose your right to appeal. You also have the right to the assistance of an attorney on appeal and to have one appointed if you cannot afford to hire your own. Restitution, as agreed by the parties, will remain open for a period of 8 months. Any of the parties can bring that matter back before the court within that period of time. Anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Okay, she leaves. See, I couldn't be a judge. I really couldn't be a judge because I'll be up there cursing people out. They would kick me off the bench. Hi, Gamecock Jenny. I could not be a judge. I would be telling you, you dumb bitch. Are you crazy? But I can't be a judge. So that's why I do what I do. So Jody is coming up next, and listen to what the judge says to her. I think it's a judge. Jody opted out of going to trial. She said that she didn't want to put the kids through that again. Bullshit. You knew you would probably, so she took a deal. She knew that she would probably get the brunt of it. And that's what she did. That's why she did what she did.
The next matter before the court is State of Utah versus Hildebrandt, case 231501763. Mr. Terry is here representing Ms. Hildebrandt. Mr. Shum and Mr. Clark are here representing the state.
Come on, bring Jody in. Nice courtroom, too.
Your Honor, we anticipated 10:30. I'm not saying that we need to wait till then, but can I have a moment, please?
Approach, please.
That is a nice courtroom. I like his setup. Huh. Hi, Maria. How are you?
30.
Her family is disgusted with her. Someone just put it in there. Her sisters don't speak their Gamecock Jenny. They don't have nothing to do with her. They've been trying to help those kids for the long time. Okay. The oldest daughter went to the state. The sisters, the neighbors were calling because of the way the kids were being treated. CPS or DFS, whoever it is there, they failed those kids. It took that young boy to hop out of that window and run away before any notice. But people were calling in and reporting, and nothing was being done. No, the court didn't buy that BS. Nobody did. Even a lawyer looked at her like, bitch, are you crazy? Don't try this, but she wrote a whole goddamn Academy Award speech. She was in a movie. See, that's one of the kids there. And that is the husband. I do believe that's Kevin. Is that Kevin? Yeah, that looks like Kevin. I never noticed that when I watched it the first time. Yeah, CPS failed those kids. DFS, CPS, or whatever they called in that state. Is that the young boy that jumped out the window? I think so. I gotta look at his picture. Let me go find this picture.
All rise. Court is back in session.
I think that's Kevin.
Court recalls the matter of State of Utah versus Hildebrandt, case 231501763. Counsel are present. Ms. Hildebrandt is present.
Yes, and the oldest daughter.
Counsel, there is a pre-sentence investigation report. I have read it. Everyone has seen and reviewed that.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, the sentence was stipulated at the time of the plea agreement. What record do we need to make sentencing?
I'm looking at his picture. That's him.
Your Honor, it would be repetitive.
Now, excuse me, is that the daughter that's in college that was calling CPS trying to get help for her siblings? This is sad, but that is Kevin. He's got the prettiest eyes. When he turned around, I said, damn, that's Kevin. Okay, let me play.
So I had the same statement just with the last few paragraphs where I was differentiating between Ms. Franke and Ms. Hildebrandt.
Okay, let's talk about housekeeping matters first. What about restitution?
For 8 months.
It is appropriate, Your Honor, since we don't have any evidence with respect to restitution, and that's because it is still in the process of being gathered by the county attorney's office. It's completely appropriate for the court to make no orders with respect to restitution other than to reserve all issues regarding restitution, and we have no issue with the eight-month time frame.
And the injunction that was previously issued by the court will remain in effect?
It will.
At least until that time?
It will remain in effect until further order of this court.
All right. Mr. Clark?
Thanks, Your Honor. The state of Utah respectfully requests that the court sentence Ms. Hildebrandt to consecutive prison terms for each of the 4 counts of aggravated child abuse to which she has pleaded guilty. The sentence was agreed to her in her plea agreement and is also recommended by adult probation and parole. Ms. Hildebrandt committed awful acts of child abuse. From May to August 2023, she and her business partner held 2 children, ages 9 and 11, turning 12, in a concentration camp-like setting in her house in Ivan City. The children were regularly denied food, water, beds to sleep in, and virtually all forms of entertainment. They were isolated from others and were hidden when people came to visit the house. They were forced to do physical tasks like carrying loaded boxes up and down stairs and doing wall sits or sitting against a wall without assistance of a chair or stool for hours at a time. They were forced to do manual labor outdoors in the extreme summer heat, often without shoes or socks. They were also forced to stand outside on a cement patio in the summer heat for hours and even days. They were beaten, and the 12-year-old was regularly bound hand and foot after he attempted to run away in mid-July. Both children had extensive physical injuries from the abuse that required hospitalization to treat. The injuries from the binding are particularly bad. In addition to the physical abuse, the children were emotionally abused. They each believed to some degree that they deserved what was being done to them. Had the older of the 2 children not had the courage to run away and ask a neighbor to call the police, heaven only knows how much longer he could have survived. After being caught, Ms. Hildebrandt has shown little to no remorse for her actions. In telephone conversations that will be provided in full to the Board of Pardons and Parole, and which she knew to be recorded, She's repeatedly claimed that she is the victim and the children are the perpetrators. She has gone so far as to say that the things said in this proceeding and covered by the media today will be full of lies. The combination of three factors make Ms. Hildebrandt a significant threat to the community. First, the severity of the abuse she caused to be inflicted on young children. Second, her attitude that everything she did was justified and that she is being wrongfully imprisoned. And third, her training as a therapist and aptitude for using online resources to convince others to follow her guidance. Utah Code Section 76-3401 lays out three factors the court should consider in determining whether to impose concurrent or consecutive sentences. The first is the gravity and circumstances of the offense. The second is the number of victims. And the third is the history, character, and rehabilitative need of the defendant. As agreed to in the plea agreement and as recommended by adult probation and parole, consecutive sentences are appropriate here. This is due to the severity of the abuse to the two victims and the extreme need for Ms. Hildebrandt to be rehabilitated so that she no longer will present a risk to the community. The state respectfully requests that she be sentenced to 4 consecutive terms.
My thing is, she doesn't have any kids. So how are you to tell somebody how to handle their kids? And I don't think they have the same hair stylist in prison, because her hair looks like shit. Whereas Ruby's hair, was just freshly cut, styled. Hers look like hell. So I think she better start doing whatever Ruby's doing in there, so she can keep herself up. I wonder if they talk to each other while they're in there together. That's what I want to know. Are they going to be sent to the same prison? Are they going to be cellies? Ooh, we need to find out.
Thank you, Mr. Clark. Mr. Terry?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yeah.
I will be brief.
Thank you, Maria. Never brought
As is always the case in cases that come before courts, there are two sides to every case. And and even in a case like this, that remains the case. There are many, many allegations regarding these two individuals, Ms. Franke and my client, Ms. Hildebrandt. The only facts in this case that are adjudicated facts are those set forth in the plea agreement that she entered into freely and knowingly and voluntarily.
Excuse me, she entered into it because her ass was probably going to go to prison for life. It wasn't freely. She looked at what she was facing, and she said, oh, hell no, I'm not going to court. I'm just going to take this plea deal. So don't act like she was all, oh, fuck that. Anyway, oh, Lord have mercy. Okay.
Those facts, those adjudicated facts are significant. They certainly provide a basis for the pleas and provide a basis for the stipulated sentence in this case. My experience with Ms. Hildebrandt is that she is not the person that she has been portrayed to be.
She is exactly that damn person.
But having said that, she has accepted responsibility in this case.
Well,
she has entered into this plea agreement with a...
She accepted responsibility because her fucking ass was caught. Let's not play games. I should have did cut to the chase with this one. Don't play games. She accepted responsibility because the little boy jumped out the fucking window. And then they found his sister tied up. She had no problems abusing these kids. Excuse me.
A stipulated sentence of 4 consecutive sentences. She did that at the time she entered into the plea agreement, knowing that that would be the court's order. She is before the court today, knowing that that will be the court's order, and she fully accepts that. She accepts responsibility and she accepts the consequences for her conduct.
Yep, they did.
And we will submit it to the court on the stipulated agreement.
Mr. Terry, you suggest...
Let me stop this for a minute. So if YouTube took their videos down before they were even charged with all the complaints that was coming in about this podcast on 8 passengers, YouTube took the videos down. You mean to tell me that the state, with all the calls they were getting, could not step in and intervene to help these kids? Help those kids. YouTube, my God, they had so many complaints about that podcast before they were even arrested, before that little boy even jumped out the windows. Bullshit.
That there are two sides to every case. I generally agree with you. Ms. Hildebrandt didn't make a statement to AP&P in the course of the pre-sentence investigation report.
Correct.
Why did she not make a statement?
She wanted to reserve.
Hold on. Vic says Jody H has 2 kids. See, they never brought up her kids, and honestly, I didn't even go look to see if she had kids because they weren't. But has 2 kids, and her daughter don't speak to her, and changed her name as per Jody's niece, Jessie, who she also severely abused. Oh my God. As I said, she didn't want to go to trial because she didn't want all this shit to come out, and she probably would have had life imprisonment. So don't tell me, but she did it willingly. No, you knew what you were facing, bitch.
Her right to make a statement before the court today, and she has a brief statement that she wants to read, Your Honor.
Okay.
And
all right. Ms. Hildebrandt? Go ahead.
I sincerely love these children. I desire for them to heal physically and emotionally. One of the reasons I did not go to trial is that I did not want them to emotionally relive the experience which would have been detrimental to them.
The experience that you put them through. You didn't want them to testify on what you did to them. Okay, let's not play. All right.
My hope and prayer is that they will heal and move forward to have beautiful lives. I am willing to submit to what the state feels would be an appropriate amount of time served to make retribution as an outcome.
in answer to your question, Your Honor, I knew that whatever she might say to the author of the pre-sentence report would probably sound hollow and self-serving, and perhaps it does today. But I know that my client, in the statement that she makes to the court today, that statement is absolutely sincere.
Does Ms. Hildebrandt recognize that it's her behavior that caused the harm to the children that she's referred to in her statement?
Your Honor, she recognizes that she was, along with Ms. Franke, that she made decisions with respect to the discipline of those children that were wrong, that caused harm to those children. She fully recognizes that and accepts responsibility for that.
All right. Anything else?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Hildebrandt, this circumstance is tragic. It's largely, of course, of your making. By any measure,
yep, that's Kevin.
Your conduct in this case was disastrous for these children. Adults are supposed to protect children.
Yep.
Adults with specialized training in particular are supposed to protect children. You didn't do that in this case. In this case, you terrorized children, and the results have been tragic. It's what happened to these children, and your philosophy in dealing with them, frankly, seems detached from reality or any objective standard of decency or even common sense. And the court finds that it is appropriate that you serve a prison sentence. The court finds under the statute, Utah Code 76-3-401, that given the gravity and circumstances of the offenses, the number of victims, and the history and character and needs of the defendant, that consecutive sentences are appropriate. The court imposes 4 1 to 15-year sentences to be, again, served consecutively for each of the 4 counts of aggravated child abuse. The last thing I do need to tell you is that you only have 30 days to file or perfect an appeal of any error of the court by filing a written notice of appeal with the clerk of the court. If you don't do that, you will lose your right to appeal. That has to be filed in writing, and again, within 30 days. You also have the right to the assistance of an attorney and to have an attorney appointed if you cannot afford to hire your own. Thank you. We're in recess.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. I just dropped the link for Mormon Stories podcast. You guys can check that out. I didn't even know they had a podcast. I will definitely be checking them out. I just subscribed. It's a whole list of videos on Jody, and so let's just take a look at this. Hold on. I have something playing. Okay, this is the Crumbley parents. No, this is James Crumbley in court. I don't want to do that this morning. I'll do that later. But so on the Mormon podcast stories, let me show y'all their lineup. So 4 to 60, yes, but then the state, the Board of Prisons is going to decide because there's the cap. So this is the Mormon Story podcast. Oh, it hasn't popped up for you guys yet. Let me look. Yes, it has popped up, but on my screen it hasn't. So there's all kinds of stuff here. This man, Brian Tibbett, said that Jody Hildebrandt, and I read that she was involved with what's the church? Not the Church of Scientology, the other church with the big mega church. There was a lawsuit with them on that. Oh my God. Hillsong Church. And then they have a nice lineup. So I would definitely be listening to them, but check them out. Mormon Church Finances Exposed. Oh, I got to go listen to that. Okay. So that's them. So let's get to Kevin. Okay, let's get to Kevin. So Kevin, when Jody was arrested in August, Kevin was never charged, okay? He was never charged. So he filed for divorce in November. My thing is, when they were doing the podcast, he was right alongside them, okay? He was making statements that, you know, what people consider abuse is actually constructive behavior corrections or something like that. But even when she was arrested back in, let's see, when she put him out the house before she was arrested, he didn't want to be separated. He didn't want a divorce. And he said in one of the things, I remember he said, when I was going back looking, he said, many of you are criticizing or calling abusive are actual things that mental health professionals have counseled us to do. My opinion is his ass should have been charged as well. Yeah. Hi, Jean. Hi, baby. How are you? Oh, Cults of Consciousness. I'm going to check that out too. But yeah, so I'm trying to understand, was he not arrested because he was no longer living in a home? But the whole time this shit was going on, he was aware of it. He was in the home. He was in the home. Because they were separated for like over a year. She put him out. She put him out. But he didn't want to be separated. He didn't want to leave. So my question is, why didn't he get any type of charges? I've missed you too, sweetie. You're not really posted on IG at all. Yeah, he should have some type of accountability. So I'm just going to show you this really quick, and then I got to get myself together so I can get out of here. But here's the body cam footage. See, I told you I watched all of this. You see where it's at? Oh, okay. You can't see it yet. But I am sharing it, right? Yes, I am sharing it. So here's the body cam footage. So these are the two people. Ruby Frank said that she's sorry that that they were questioned and the innocence was called into question. Her two daughters, well, they only knew that this one with the socks on was in the house. Okay, this one had been in the house. This is the man who had just had surgery. So let me go. Okay, let me go here. I'm gonna play a little bit of this.
CSS out of St. George and Springville that we're just looking for. Okay.
They're mentioning her name.
When you picked her up, what was the case? Did somebody ask you to pick her up, or did you just
call me tomorrow? Thank you.
Well, I'm having guests coming, and she came and did some cleaning for me.
Some cleaning for you?
You work right now in the house.
In the living room, right there.
Okay.
Their camera is horrible. I have to. Okay, there it is.
Out here then.
If you can, just for a second, we just have to go over some stuff.
You have a warrant?
Yeah, we do.
Let me see it, please.
So it's in my car, but right now my concern is.
Will you just tell them you're all right?
Well, yeah, we have to physically see her.
Come to the doorway.
Oh, Jody made Ruby put him out. Okay.
You have a warrant
This
for
was
my
the
house.
video, guys, that I dropped
Specifically for you.
In the chat. See, that's the daughter right there.
Okay. So
What is going on?
as of right now, I'll just need you to give your phone to your husband. Okay. And as of this moment, you're going to be detained right now. Okay.
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 So
So,
what
is
does
there
that mean?
is there anything on you?
No.
Okay. Perfect. Just put your hands in front of you. Okay. Just going to place you temporarily under
Wait.
arrest. Okay. I'll explain to you that. I'll explain to
What are you guys doing?
I've explained this already. I'm being as courteous as I can.
Okay, well, I'm going to call an attorney.
That's fine.
I don't know what's
Yeah, I don't even know what this is all about.
Okay. So I'm
Put
going to
my
explain
wife
to you when we
in
get to the car.
handcuffs, I mean-
Yes. I just.
So that's the video. It's an hour and 56 minutes, and I forgot. Hold on, let me tell you. It's a long video. It's an hour, 56 minutes, and 40-something seconds. But this is the people that she was saying she is sorry that they were called into question. She picked her daughters up from some kind of swimming or youth thing, and that was the day that Ruby was arrested along with Jody. Oh, Pam isn't innocent either. She is listed as the president on. She said that she became part of their and she is Jody. She did call her best friend. She definitely called her best friend in this video. No, she said they were friends. Oh my God. But she acts like she doesn't know what's going
Just
on.
explain to you that you're being detained right now. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you to my car, okay? I need this officer to stay with your husband, and I'm going to explain everything to you when we get there, okay?
Nice yard. Oh my God, gorgeous. I forgot about
So are you
that.
familiar with any officers in Springville?
No.
Okay.
Not at
Are you?
all.
Do you have siblings or kids in St. George?
Well, I have a married daughter,
Okay. What's her name?
Stacy.
Okay. Do you know of any issues that they just went through today?
No, do you?
Yes, I do. So that's why I'm trying to figure out. So we were requested by St. George and Springville Police to make contact here, the residents is here, than to detain you currently until questions are answered. Okay.
What kind of questions?
So I'm going to call the main officers from Springville, and that's where we're going to.
Rick,
I'm
you
going to
want
tell
to
them
come
that I
up?
be
You
detained and
seem
you
to
can
know a
question. you
whole
can
lot
question me
about
from
these
now.
people.
Does that make sense? So now you know pretty much as much as I do. Okay. So I'm going to call him, and we're just going to go from there. Okay.
So what do I have to do? Why am I like this when haven't resisted or anything?
Because I have to detain you momentarily until I figure out what charges they're going to go with that. So like I said, we were requested by another agency to locate you and detain you temporarily under a warrant to figure out this.
Yep.
He's right there, which means you had her.
And she said
she comes
that.
over to my house all the time.
Hold on a second.
Yeah, she comes over to my house all.
She said that. She says they come over to help her clean and stuff. She said that, Vic. And she said that Ruby had called her and asked her, because she had an emergency or whatever to pick up the girls, and she would pick them up later that day or later that evening. She said they've come over before to help her clean. That's exactly what she said.
I'm going off what you're saying. I'm going off what they're saying. I don't know what's the truth. I know that she's here. I don't know if she came willingly or not.
Can't you ask her?
That's what we're about to do.
Okay.
But as of right now, that's why I separated you, because I want the truth. I don't want coercion. I don't want her being felt like she has to say stuff.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you in there. We're going to drive back to the front so you can hang out right in front of your house.
Thank
okay?
Okay.
All right, watch your hand. So just, can you tie yourself or no? Or can you place your seatbelt or no?
No.
No?
Girl, get your ass on that seat better than that. What I want to know is why did you pull in the driveway to begin with?
I don't know if it's Stacy per se, but it's one of them.
He just told her he doesn't know. He just had a
So,
call to
then
go
it is
detain her. But we're not going to watch all of this video, but this is a good video if you guys want to watch it. It's a really good video. And every time they're bleeping out the names of the daughters or other people. So they redacted this video. But it's a good video. And let me drop this in the chat.
Just turn on your
well.
AC, okay?
I'm going to drop it again so you guys can have it. But look at that. Oh, my God. They take great care of that lawn. God is gorgeous.
How's it going? This is Officer Hawkins with American Police Department. How you doing?
It was freshly cut.
How are you doing? Good. So I just want to get some 5 W's on this case I had. So I made contact. I have Pam in the backseat of my car detained. And I'm in the house.
In the house?
Yep.
Okay, we've got a unit that's going to be heading over. Let me find out who it is, okay?
But at that time, they didn't know the other daughter was in there. So it's an hour, 56 minutes. I was right, in 45 seconds. They don't know the other daughter is in the home. So she tells them, she goes, why are they just looking for her and not the other daughter's name? Because she's in the house as well. The other one stayed in the house. She never came out. So that told me then that something was going on. And then when they were trying to talk to the other daughter that's in the doorway, she wouldn't say a word. She would not talk to them. It's a lady officer that's up there. She would not say a word to them. I might have to move to Utah. Are there black people in Utah?
Okay. All right, let me see if I can just transfer over to my officers out there, okay?
Appreciate it. Thank you.
It is beautiful. Oh my God, that's gorgeous.
Sorry, what was your name one more time?
This is Officer Hawkins, H-A-W-K-I-N-S.
So,
all right, I'm going to send you over to Detective Hoover. Give me just 1 second. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello. This is Officer Hawkins of American Police Department.
Hey, this is Detective Mulford. Who are you?
Detective Molson? Is that what you said? Mulford. Okay. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. So I just want, if you can just give me the lowdown of what's going on today, because I have the agency that said I detained Pam.
thank you, Charlotte.
In the house in front of me.
The house?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
So it took a while before these other agencies got there. So if you guys are bored, go watch the video. You will hear another husband acts like, but when the wife was talking, you knew she knew something. So, and I don't know if she knew that Ruby, but she did go pick them up. Now, they never said whether Ruby made a phone call to her or not. To say, but she said that Ruby said she had a family emergency, I think in St. or somewhere, and she asked her to pick up the girls, and they had been there before. She had company coming in, which was her friends were coming in from out of the country, and they were helping them clean. But she says that she took them to get some kind of ice cream or whatever. They never had it, which was strange. These kids never went to this place. And you can hear just by the way she was talking that she knew something was going on. So, Charlotte, when I first moved here, I didn't see any Black people at all. And I was like, oh shit. So anyway, you just have to go and listen to this, because this is telling to me, especially on the wife's part. The husband may not have been in the loop, but he did say that Pam and Ruby were really good friends. Pam even said she and Ruby were friends. I don't know if she said best friends. I can't remember. I watched this a few months back. I can't remember exactly the terminology she used, but she said that she had joined them on occasions at their conferences and gatherings, and she believed in what they were speaking about and all this other stuff. So I think the husband is complicit as well. I really do. We only have 2% Black here. Yeah. Yeah. I just started seeing some Black people, not what, maybe like 6-7 months ago, all in the store. So other than that, I am going to, is there anything else that you guys want to discuss? Because other than that, I am actually going to get out of here. I need to get myself together. I need to be out of here by at least 11 o'clock. So Vic, okay, the oldest sister, initial A, is brainwashed worse than that. See, I don't know if it's the older sister that was sitting on the porch, or was it the younger sister? Well, the older sister, one of them's in college, that was calling and trying to get help. And she was glad that she was able to go away and get away from them. So she was actually calling as well, Vic. But you seem to know a whole lot about this. I only learned about this when they got arrested, and it started being, so somebody put it in my chat, and I started trying to find the videos, but I learned that YouTube had been taking them down. No, that snow wasn't my fault, but we're supposed to be getting snow either next week or the week after that. It might be our final snow. Who knows? But the temperature here has been crazy. And then the what is it called? Fog. Oh my God, it's horrible. And the icy roads. I don't know why we have blacktop. Why do we have blacktop? Yes, we're supposed to be getting snow either next week, or the week after that. You know what? I kind of saw that, but I really wasn't paying attention. Maybe if I come live tomorrow, we'll discuss that. But there is some other stuff that's going on that I really wanted to discuss. And if you guys weren't here when I went live yesterday morning, the 7-year-old that got shot at Lakewood Church, they removed his frontal lobe. They can't tell if he has any brain activity or not, because they can't hook up the EEG wires to him. Albino snow. I don't know what's albino snow. I don't know. Yeah, and in the mornings it's bad, especially when I leave. It's really, really bad. And after we had that rain, we still had the snow down. The roads were icy. I got to maybe 3 blocks from my house. My car did a little skid. I went, turned around in the school parking lot, came right back, pulled into my garage, and hooked up my laptop. You've been following since 2016. Vic, if you want to come up, you don't have to show your face. I can drop the link for you so you can come up and you can give us a little bit more background. You don't have to put your face on screen if you want to come up. I can drop the link for you. Yep. So I have a habit of bringing my laptop home unless the weather is really, really nice. I don't bring my laptop home, but normally in the conditions we've had in the last week, I've been bringing my laptop home every single night, just in case I don't feel like going in the office in the morning. No, that's not what I said. Albino snow. Yes, I am. Well, before I didn't like leaving Kayla here, and a lot of times she didn't want to go. And I would not leave her home if I'm not sure how long I'm going to be gone. If I'm running to the grocery store, that's different. But if I'm going to be hanging out, and especially like I went snowmobiling last weekend, I was gone damn near all day. I'm not going to leave her here all day by herself. Yes, I meant to Manitou. Yes, that's why I used to take her to go trick-or-treating at. And then I go there all the time because that's where my doctors are over there. And I like that Walgreens over there too. Yes, I saw that, damn it, Mandy. I wrote that down. And it's a couple of stories that are popping off right now that I've been watching, including the ones where these people boarded a yacht and they killed 3 Americans. I've been watching that too. Everything over there is gorgeous. And for Halloween, oh my God, the streets are lined. Everybody has everything decorated. We went through that for Christmas as well. Yeah, I went through it not this past year, the year before through Christmas to look at all the decorations. That area is gorgeous. That area is gorgeous. It reminds me of old New Orleans too, and some places in Norfolk, Virginia, and Williamsburg. Happy birthday to your baby. Happy birthday to your baby. She has no self-awareness, but her 6 chicks, she thanked everybody and then got to the last one, her husband, who's been the love of her life, but she kicked him out the home. Okay, I can drop the link for you. Here's what I do. I drop the link. Once you click the link, it says allow camera and microphone. Say yes. Once you get in the studio, you can turn off your camera. So you click the link. It's going to take you. It's going to say allow mic and camera. You have to say yes, unless it's not going to let you in. Once you get into the studio, turn off your camera. So let's try this and see. Hold on. Let me try this and see. I'm going to invite you up. Click. Okay, hold on. So when you see the link in the chat, the link is right there. You click that link, and then it's going to take you to the studio. It says allow mic and camera. You have to say yes. And then once you get backstage, excuse me, turn off your camera. So that's all you have to do. I know Jean said, I know she said her son was moving back. But I don't know if he's still there or not, but we'll talk tomorrow. Jean, I miss you. So let's have wine Sunday. We can talk and cook at the same time. We can talk and cook at the same time. Oh, Shyla, the store, Rousseau's, they had Wago beef. Oh my God, at $19.99 a pound. I love Wago beef, and they had the tri-tips and everything. Girl, I went in there and bought all of that. I was in there cleaning up. Thank you. Yeah, Jean Wilson was here. Yep, she was here. So I went over there. It's off of 29th. Well, there are several locations, but I go to the one on 29th. Okay, I'll give you a minute because I want to hear what you have to say. Wago, W-A-Y-G-U-E, something like that. Wago, hold on. I had it. Hold on. It's the Wago beef. Hold on, let me tell you. But the beef is so good. Because when I buy beef here, it doesn't taste like it does in Texas. Yeah, like W-A-G-Y-U. Oh my God, the tri-tips, everything. Yeah, let's do wine and talk. I like that. Wine and talk. Check it out. And then because they have like the petite sirloins, their New York strip. A lot of the beef here to me has no flavoring because I'm used to eating that beef out of Texas, and it just doesn't have any flavor to me. And once I found that store carried it, I was like, oh my God, because somebody was telling me about it at work. And I went right after I went to the doctors for my follow-up, and I went into that store and had a ball. No, but I remember he K'd his mom, right? Is that the one that K'd his mom after she had the baby? I remember hearing about that case. Is that the one you're talking about, damn it, Mandy? Because he's actually in jail and the grandmother is trying to get him, is trying to get him released. Is that the one? Hi, Paddles. Okay, I did hear about it. I haven't been looking into it, but she had just had a baby, and they don't know why he killed her or anything else. But the grandmother is trying to get him out, and she doesn't think he needs to be in there. I'll be damned. He wouldn't be sleeping in my house. Or you have my uncles. Well, after my grandpa passed, and they didn't have any more cows. They do that too, but it's just me. Oh, and then I have somebody at work that has chickens, and she brings me fresh eggs. Oh my God. She brings me eggs. And then she grows, my God, the eggplant that I had during the summer. This thing was huge. So, $21 for 5 dozen now. Huh. See, and I don't eat that much eggs. Like I'll boil an egg or two in the morning sometimes for breakfast. Or when I make potato salad, I put eggs in my potato salad. But I do not scramble eggs. I can't say. Okay, Vic. Okay, it said it wasn't connecting.
Hear me?
Okay, I hear you now. There you go. So you can turn your camera off. Do you see how to turn the camera off?
No, I don't even know how to do that.
Okay, so if you look, just stay out the camera. Just stay out the camera. Just sit back.
Okay.
Okay, there you go. So tell us about, you've been following them since 2016. Tell us what you know, ma'am. And welcome to the channel. Welcome.
Oh, hello. How are you?
I am fine. When I saw your name, I was like, is that Victor or Victoria? Which I'm not going to say. But anyway, I was like, oh my God, I never saw her in here or saw them in here before, but welcome.
Now I've been subscribed to your channel for a while, but I just sit in the bushes.
Okay. You've been subscribed. Okay. So tell me what you know. Come on, girl.
Okay. Well, when I first started watching them, the kids were real young. Like the little girl that's been abused, she was only about 2 or 3 years old. She was a toddler.
Okay.
And the other ones were little. When she first started, her channel was real boring. It's her. She has a sister named Bonnie, a sister named Ellie, another sister, Julie, and then they have a brother. All of them had channels, and the parents.
Oh,
they all of them have YouTube channels. And I would watch them now and again. They would just do little like family things, but I just always thought she was kind of goofy. She was a little strange to me.
Okay.
In how she was interacting with her kids. And as they got a little older, she was still, goofy. Like she would turn the camera on and embarrass them. Like she would do things to make them uncomfortable. Things that they wouldn't want known in front of the camera, like shaving their armpits and legs, or like if they were failing in class, she would like embarrass them.
Oh my God.
And she would always deprive them of food. Like she would like threaten them about, oh, I'm not going to feed you today if you don't do this or if you don't do that. Like she was very weird acting.
Can I ask you a question? Do you think she's a little bit like Lori Daybell?
And you know what? In a way, as the years progressed, I would say yes.
Okay. All right. Go ahead. I want to, because when I first started looking at her, I was like, if those kids weren't helped, they probably would have been caged. And she's another Lori Daybell with the beliefs that she was holding. So she was kind of scary to me when I started looking into this.
Yeah,
Okay.
she definitely has those traits, because as she got older and the kids started getting older, the oldest son, Chad, he started to rebel in a lot of ways. You know, he was just a teenager, but he was like a goofy teenager. And you know how teenagers sometimes get themselves into a little trouble. So he was doing that in school. He was a little mischievous. So he embarrassed them, because I think he got expelled. No, he got expelled from his school. So the parents felt like they couldn't control him. And then one day we just didn't see Chad anymore. We saw the 5 kids, but everybody was like wondering, whatever happened to Chad? We didn't see him anymore.
Okay.
So a lot of the subscribers started coming in and asking, where's Chad? Where's Chad? So they didn't say nothing. Then all of a sudden they said that, oh, you know, he had some behavioral issues. We decided to send him to a wilderness camp called Anastasia. So they sent him out to this wilderness camp for like, I think, 2 months. And he had to feed off the land. He didn't have a bed. He was living out in the wilderness. It's like one of those troubled teen camps they sent him to. And everybody was saying, you know, why would you do that to your son? You know, why would you do that? So, you know, they're saying, well, you know, we're the parents and we want to do what is right by him. And Kevin was just right behind her, rooting her on. So that's why I say Kevin is not innocent either, because everything that she did, Kevin always agreed with it. A lot of times Kevin wasn't there though, but most of the time it was always her in the videos, not him. He was always working at like BYU and he was always like not there, but he agreed when he was there. Anything that Ruby said went. And he just agreed with it.
I believe that from the statement that he made when I was looking into them. You know, he didn't feel that it was cruel. He was doing what psychology? Oh, you're talking about Jody. Okay. All right, go ahead.
Yeah. He just didn't, he was always at BYU. He was doing stuff with engineering. So she was always left with her own devices with the kids. But he would always agree. Anything that she did to chastise him, he never said no. He always just let her do whatever she was doing with him. So then when Chad came back, he ended up moving in the room with his brother, and they were asking him questions about how he felt when he went to this wilderness camp. So, you know, Chad was still Chad. He didn't change. He was like playing jokes on his brother Russell, the one that ran for help. Yes. He was playing jokes on his brother, and he did a joke one time where he woke him up in the middle of the night and said they were going to Disneyland. And the brother like packed his bag and put his sunglasses on, and then he told Russell that it was a joke. And Russell got mad at him, but then the parents got mad at Chad for doing that, and they took his bed away for 6 months.
Oh, so that was punishment. They took the bed away. Got you. Okay.
Yeah, they took his bed away for 6 months. And we were like, what is wrong with you guys? Why would you? There's so many other ways to chastise your child. Why would you take your child's bed away?
So let me ask you a question. When I was looking into this, they were saying that people were that was in the chat was reporting and calling CPS and trying to get these kids help. Is that true?
Oh, no, that's true. And there was a petition, and I know I signed it. There was a petition that went out with CPS.
Oh my God.
There was a petition that was out because it was running around back, I think in like 2018 or 19, because a lot of us signed it because we were just like, this is crazy. The way that she's raising these kids and she's embarrassing them and the way she like, I remember one time she had her sister Bonnie's kids over. And they were going to the movies, and she was like, oh, I don't want to buy any food when we're in the movie, so this is what we're going to do. Stand in a line. And she stood all the kids in the line, her nieces and nephews and her own kids. And she made them all eat off this one banana. Just, she was like, your turn, you take a bite, you take a bite. And I was like, what is wrong with this woman? she's just out of control. Hello? Hello? I think I lost her.
No,
Hello?
I'm here. I was just getting some coffee. I was letting you talk. Go ahead. I'm getting
okay.
coffee.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and she would just she had these kids eat off this one banana before they went to the movies, and her whole attitude just became more strange and more strange, to the point that she took her kids out of school. I know when COVID started, she took the kids out and she was homeschooling them, and then after that she started getting strange. Like she started like going into like mental health, like saying that the kids are not listening to her. They're starting to become distorted. And then she started with this distortion stuff. And then she said, oh, the kids are too entitled. I'm not liking their attitudes. So I'm going to take Christmas away. So she took Christmas away from the 2 little ones. She said, I'm going to give the 4 older ones. I'm going to show you. The 4 older ones are going to have Christmas. And Kevin agreed to this. He was like, fine, but we're not going to give Christmas to the 2 little ones, which at the time they were like 7 and 9 little kids.
So Kevin, yeah, like I said, I saw he was complicit. I don't know why he was never charged. Is it because she threw him out the house? But he knew this was going on for years.
Yeah, I blame Kevin because I feel as a well, I'm not a man, but I feel as a dad or as a father, no one would ever separate me from my child. And even if I was away from my child, I would have been there visiting. I would have been there checking up on them. I was like, I don't care. If you don't want me at the house, I won't be at the house. But I'm going to come check on my kids. I'm going to take them out for dinner. I'm going to take them out for ice cream. He never did any of that. He just walked away.
And the only reason he filed for divorce is because she was arrested. Because they had
been
separated for a year.
Yeah, but I will say this though. I will say this in Kevin's, not that I'm defending Kevin, but it's a lot of stuff that I learned about the Mormon Church and a lot of stuff from Mormon Stories podcast. I will say this on Kevin's behalf. I feel that Kevin was scared of Jody just because Jody ruined another man's life and got his whole family taken. This man named Adam Paul Steed.
Yep, he did an interview. He did an interview, and I saw that. And then he had a lawsuit against her as well.
Oh yeah. Oh, he going after her now, real bad.
Okay.
I feel sorry for Jody now because he coming after her. But I think that Kevin was afraid that if he tried to come back and be with his family or try to combat Jody, that Jody was very high up with a lot of the people in the Mormon Church.
So is it Hillsong? Because Kevin was saying that I think it's Hillsong Church. It's not because they're part of like the Church of Latter-day Saints or something like that. But she counseled him and his wife when they were members of Hillsong Church.
No, they're not part of Hillsong. You're talking about Jody and not Jody. Kevin and Ruby.
Maybe I'm getting the church confused, but
they're not a part of Hillsong. Was with Justin Bieber and them.
Yeah, what's the name of the church that she was a member of? That she was one of the counselors that got him. Because I was doing a story on Hillsong and I can't think of the other church, but her name came up, and he went to the elders and stated that she did this.
Oh no, it wasn't a church, but it was part of the Mormon Church. I think it was something called Lifestar.
Something like that. I knew it was one. Okay, thank you. Okay.
Yeah, I think it was something like Lifestar. Yeah, that she was with that, and Jody can get the Mormon Church to be on her side, and she could ruin them. That's how Jody became rich off of all of these people's backs. She was charging them for these sessions, marital sessions, and like I think the cheapest price was $2,000. That's how she got into that big mansion that she's riding around in a Lexus and all that. She made money off of all these people's backs.
Oh, well, that's why she didn't go. What is your opinion on why she didn't go to trial?
Oh, she didn't want all the dirt to come out about what she did to those kids. I mean, just the little girl alone, from what I was reading up on some of the stuff, she made that little girl jump into a cactus 3 times.
Oh my God.
She didn't want the truth to come out of what she was abusing those little girls. And if you go and watch the Mormon Stories podcast and listen to her niece, Jessie, that whole story was heartbreaking on the abuse that she put on her niece and what her niece had to do to get away. And her niece said it herself. I was a little older than them. I was a teenager, but I was still a child.
Oh my God. Yeah. So he has a history of abusing children. And Shyla just said the Mormon doctrine supports child abuse. What they consider, what we consider child abuse, they don't. But it's child abuse. And
they don't exactly.
They also support the fact of having these young girls be with these older men. You know what I mean?
Yes, that's the really extreme, like the Warren Jeffs type of Mormonism. That's the one that's locked up now, I think, for 100 years, or I don't know what
Jeff, whatever his name, the one that had all the wives. Do you know they found some of these girls here in Spokane at an Airbnb?
Oh my gosh.
This was what, last year? You remember when they went and they raided wherever they were living at, and the young wives, they found them here in Spokane in an Airbnb.
Wow. Now, were those ones that were trying to get away, or they were just
No, they were hiding them because, you know, the state went in and took all of the, especially the younger ones, and they put them in state custody.
They were hiding them so they can go back and get them. Okay, yes. I got you.
Yeah, the older wives were able to get them out. I think it was like 7 of them here. And they were here and they found them here in an Airbnb.
That is crazy. Yes, see, that's what they'll do for that particular religion, for the Mormon religion. They'll do that. And they do everything that's undercover. Like they'll pay anything not to let stuff get out. Like right now, the Mormon churches, I know they're seething that all of this came out about them with what happened with Jody.
So I'm gonna drop that link down for Codes to Consciousness. I'm gonna be checking.
Yes, they're also good. Codes to Consciousness, they do a lot of good stories too.
Okay, I'm definitely going to be. Do you mean under adult or just younger than husband? I mean, they were like 14, 15, 13, 14, 15. That's what I mean. That's what they were doing.
They're underage still. They're still considered children.
Yep. Okay, I just subscribed to this channel. You guys give me a lot of good channels to go look at. Thank you. Thank you. So I just.
But this is kind of out of the realm of what we're talking about. But if you want to look into something that's interesting.
Yes.
It's something that's going around on TikTok. And I know a lot of people uploaded it to YouTube, but it's a really interesting situation. It's kind of a rabbit hole story, but it's crazy. It's a woman named, oh gosh, what is her name? It's Tessa something. And it's Who the F Did I Marry?
I heard about that. Okay.
Oh my gosh, you gotta go and listen to the whole. There's she went from TikTok from episode 1 to episode 50, and you have got to listen to this story. It is the craziest thing you ever heard.
So it's not like the shit they show on ID Discovery with Who the Bleep That I Married. Okay.
No, this is her. She's just sitting there, but she goes through this whole story on how she met her future husband, to how she married him, and everything else that went on. But it's crazy. Oh my gosh, I can't remember the girl's name, but she has the whole episode from episode 1 all the way up to episode 50. I think her name is the Jets Carson brand.
Okay.
I think that's her name. If you look her up, she may have the whole series, but it is interesting to talk about. It's crazy.
Well, someone told me about that, and I thought they were talking about ID Discovery, but she's on TikTok. Okay, I'm gonna go.
No, she's on TikTok, but you really got to look into it. It's interesting. It's a rabbit hole of a story for that poor woman.
Yeah, I like rabbit holes. I really do, especially
Yes.
if it's real time. I mean,
You
real
would be
life shit.
shaking your head at some of the parts because you would just sit there and be like, oh my gosh, that should have been a red flag. That should have been a red flag.
The same thing with the guy who tried to kill this woman's daughter. When he started isolating her from her kids and her family, and she was a realtor, I'm like, you did not see that as a red flag? You didn't. You remember the story? He lied and said he was a doctor. He was ex-military. I'm like, wait a minute. You did not see this man was doing this? How do you not see this? So okay, I will definitely. Charlotte said her husband was a pathological liar.
Oh my gosh, yes. It's unbelievable what this woman went through. Unbelievable.
I'm gonna watch it. Matter of fact, I'll listen to it.
Yeah, because you can just listen to it because she's basically just talking. It's nothing really to like look at, because it's just her telling her whole story.
Ooh, Risa Tessa. Okay.
TikTok. Risa Tessa, yes, that's it.
I will go and listen.
Who the F did I marry?
Oh my God.
It is crazy.
Oh my God. Somebody was telling me about that because they had been watching it. And at first, I thought it was on ID Discovery. So I started looking for it on,
Oh, no, it came, I heard about it because I happened to have been on, matter of fact, I ran across it on TikTok because to go back to the 8 passenger stories, I went on TikTok to look because Ruby Franke's son, Chad, has a TikTok up kind of making fun of his mom being in prison.
Yes. Now that I saw that. Now I did see that. Okay.
And then it started to pop up and I was like, what is this? And then I hit it and then I went down a whole rabbit hole.
So TikTok, hold on. Go ahead, ma'am. I'm just going to look because I do have a TikTok, but I very seldom go in TikTok. And, I get these things because my grandkids are on these different things. And I just go look at their stories to see what they're doing and what they're talking about, just to be nosy to make sure that nothing is being said or done in there that I would find inappropriate and have it recorded. So they already know. I follow them all on IG.
I remember those days, but my daughter's a young adult now, so I don't have to deal with that.
Okay. Yeah, so I do. I don't want the sound on. Hold on. Okay. Go ahead. Finish talking about 8 passengers. So I'm looking for Risa Tessa.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And I think if you look up, I think her name is the Jess Carson brand. She's on YouTube. If you look her up, I think that she has all the episodes from episode 1 all the way up to episode 50.
Okay. Is it Risa _ because I see a Risa M _ Tessa 1. I don't know which one it is.
I don't think that's the one. I think it should be just Risa Tessa.
Okay, is she a black woman or a white woman?
A black woman.
Well, this is her then. Oh, is Risa _ Tessa?
Yes.
That's her. 50-part series. I have it.
Okay,
I have it. So I'm gonna subscribe to her right now. So I won't forget. I have a Risa _ She's a black. Now the guy that she married, is he from Nigeria or something?
No, he's a black man, right? From Philadelphia, from Philly.
Oh my God. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I will definitely be following her. We got some shit to talk about. Well, besides the other bullshit, but okay, go ahead.
Oh yeah, it's a whole storyline to talk about.
Oh my God, Tina, go look at my IG post. That's what I've been doing. LOL. Okay, I'm gonna have to look at your IG post. Go ahead, ma'am. I'm sorry. Go. I was about to say, go ahead, ma'am. Go ahead, Vic. Go ahead. Finish talking.
Oh, okay. But basically, what I was saying was that all of this, what had went on, Ruby did to herself. She would say things like, oh, I'm trying to save my son Chad because one day he's going to end up in prison. And I was like, oh, that's creepy because art imitating light. Look who's in prison now. It's not her son Chad.
Nope, she is.
She is. Because
How long do you think she should serve? Because it's 1 to 15. I think they're going to go closer to like between 10 and 15 for each count. So she's going to
Yes,
max out at
I
3.
do. And she's going to do time, but I will say this: she's going to do less time than Jody does.
I think they're both
Because
complicit. I think they all should have been arrested. And after,
Jody is showing no remorse. Like,
nope, she's not.
I don't feel sorry for Ruby, because let me tell you, Ruby is an actress. And a lot of the stuff that Ruby is doing right now, she's trying to play on people's emotions. You're not playing on my emotions, because I know that you're a bullshitter, Ruby, and you still wasn't there for your kids and you abused your kids. So yes, you're going to do some time. And I think that Ruby should at least do 10 years or more.
I'm serious. For each count, between 10, it's not going to be 1 to 15. I'm thinking they're going to do 10 to 15 years.
Yep.
Because and then so she's gonna max out, because they max out at 30 years.
At 30 years.
Yep.
Yeah,
so
they don't go over 30. They don't go over 30 unless it's something horrific.
Yep. So, but because when I was reading about
more horrific than child abuse, I mean, it had to have been something like horrifying for them to go over 30 in Utah, in the state of Utah.
Yes, yes, Mandy. I've heard some of her jail calls, and I need to find where I can get.
Oh yeah, I'm waiting on those. They said that they're gonna, their calls are gonna come out. I'm waiting on those jail calls to come out, especially the ones.
They've already put some of them out already.
They are where? Where are they?
Hold on. Let me drop it. Hold on. But it's on someone else's channel. I'm waiting for the police ones. That way I can't get struck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me tell you where I heard those at. I'm on YouTube and I'm looking. Hold on. Jody, because I happened to stumble across it one day and I went, oh shit, the same way with like Alex Murdaugh calls.
Yes.
Yeah, I stumbled across those, and some channels don't like you to share their work. They want them to go there and listen, and I understand that.
Yeah. Some channels will allow it as long as you.
From Chad. It's on TikTok. And that's where I found those at. Because I stumbled on Chad's by mistake because I'm following certain people and he popped up. And then from there, you can go. It's on TikTok. Her jail phone calls, they're on TikTok. That's
okay. So I'm gonna go there later on today and look for them.
Yep, it's called Jodi Hildebrandt. I'm trying to remember her jail calls. Let me see what's the name of this thing. It's just Jodi Hildebrandt jail phone calls. Yes,
that woman is a whole demon.
Yep, she is. And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, so, she is not remorseful at all. And for her to sit there and say she loved those kids, Kevin should have just got up and slapped her. I mean, I'm not for men slapping women, but in this case, he should have just got up and slapped the crap out of her.
But I do believe that he's scared of her.
Yeah, he's scared of her. That's why he never came back to go and look for those kids, to the point that when he moved out, Chad moved out after he moved out, and Chad ended up moving in with his dad. This woman has so much pull. She sent somebody to live with them, to watch them. And then they report back to Jody. So then Jody came back and told Ruby, no, Chad can't stay with his father. They're going to be codependent on each other. He has to move. So at this boy was not even 18 yet. He was 17 and had to leave and go on his own.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Because she said that Chad couldn't stay there with his father.
And the father did nothing to step in. Now the four other kids, they're in state custody still. They're in state custody. They're still there.
The oldest kid is in state custody. Now, I don't even know how to say this. There's a particular YouTuber that is very, very problematic. I listened to her. I listened to one of her. I don't even know how to. she's very problematic. But she had said that the oldest daughter, not Sherry, but the oldest of the underage kids, supposedly is now in Kevin's custody. I only heard it from her. I didn't hear from anybody else.
I didn't hear that, but they were still in when they
said the other three are still in state's custody. They claim that the 16-year-old is supposedly now with Kevin, but I don't know how true that is because I can't confirm that. I just heard it.
That's true.
That's what I'm saying. I heard it from this particular YouTuber, so I don't know if that's true.
When she got sentenced the other day, there was a big article in the New York Post that stated the 4 kids as of today are still in state custody. Now you can't verify that because they're not going to give you that information.
Right. They're not going to give you that information.
Yeah, but I'm sure that they've got inside sources here, there, and everywhere that gives them updates. But that was the latest. And then in People magazine, they're stating the same thing, that the other 4 are still in state's custody. Yeah,
they're still in state's custody.
Yep. So when I watched her sentencing, I didn't even realize it was Kevin. I was basically zoomed in on her and her attorney. And then when I saw the young man, I said, oh my God, that's the son. And when he turned around and I saw his eyes, I said, that looks like Kevin. He just has a beard now. He's not clean shaven. I've always thought when I started researching and looking at this, that he had the most mesmerizing eyes. I'm talking about Kevin.
He does have nice eyes.
Yes, his eyes are mesmerizing.
He does have nice eyes. Yeah, he was there. Chad was there. Sherry was there, and I think the sister Julie was there.
The sister was there. The one that was on the end. That's the sister. Yes.
That's what it looked like. It looked like the sister that moved to. I think they moved to like Minnesota or something like that.
Shit, I thought about moving to Minnesota when Prince was alive, but that didn't work out. So anyway. I have friends that live in Minneapolis, and they used to run into him all the time in the airport. And he actually, my friend Elvay's husband, used to work. He would fly home every other week, but he worked in Minneapolis, and he would run into him all the time in the airport. One day he took a picture with him, and I've been trying to find that picture, and he sent it to me being fucking funny. I said, you little bitch. But yeah, so
I went to see him. This is, oh gosh, I was a
years ago. I saw him years ago.
Yeah, I was a older teenager. Yeah, yep. I went, there's a Coliseum up here in New York. I don't even know if it's still there, but it's what's called Nassau Coliseum. And that's where I saw him in concert at. And he put on a show that you wouldn't forget.
He is a showman. Yep.
He was there with, what was the guy's name? The time when they used to do the Mirror, Jesse and Jerome and all them.
Yep.
Yeah.
When I saw him, that might be the same tour because he came through DC first. I met him at the radio station. One of my friends was the DJ at the station, and he called me. I was working on 14th and H, and he called me to come up to Howard. And he was like, I need you to come. I need you to come. I said, for what? He goes, it's important. I said, okay. So I took an early lunch. I go in, I get into the studio. He's on the other side, and I'm sitting there, and he's making fun of Prince, calling him his, his purple shortness and, his royal, all this other bullshit that he and I used to argue with. And I'm serious. When I turned around, that man was there. I forgot my own damn name.
Oh my God! Is he really as short as they say? Was he really as short as they say?
He's a little taller than I was, like about 5'5", 5'6", but he's got a package and a nice little body. Hi, sweetie.
I was close, but we weren't like we were on the ground level, but it was like the way the stage was, so it was hard to see. I was like, he looks short, but I was like, we don't know. I would have to see him up person to know if he's really that short.
That was my second time actually meeting him. When he was in Houston that time, I got grounded because I didn't get home till after 2 o'clock because we were hanging out at the after party. We were invited to the after party, and that's when he was with Vanity. Was it Yeah, he was with Vanity then because she was with him. And I got in trouble. And the next time I saw him was in DC. And seriously, his eyes were just, he was like, hi. And I was like, oh my God. And he goes, you are. And then he looked, he goes, pretty eyes. I was like, oh my God, I couldn't even talk, girl. I couldn't even talk. But I went to the concert that night. We had tickets, and that bed, that's when he did Do Me Baby still. When that bed came out.
Oh my gosh. I just
break my neck.
I just love Prince's music. Oh my gosh. I remember, I think it was it his second album or was it his first album? I'll never forget how we used to party, and the album had, like, if you remember, it had the one that had the eye in the middle. So like the album was playing and you would just stare at that eye.
And it was going round and round.
It would go round and round.
I had When Doves Cry on my when he was in the tub and crawling out. Girl,
yes.
I had that big ass poster on my wall.
Oh my God. I was so devastated when I heard that he passed. I love myself some Prince.
Crazy Purple Kirby Lady, why are you? Mandy's Cash App. What Mandy? I don't know what Mandy you're talking about, sweetie. Her Cash App said failed. I have no idea. But no, I'm telling you. And that night, at the time I was dating a state trooper, and we went back home, and he was. I said, we were. He goes, you gonna scratch? I said, no, Prince took everything I had. I had nothing else left. You're good.
Yeah, Prince will do that to you. He'll make you lose your voice and everything.
I'm serious. He took everything. I was screaming and screaming, and I wanted to get on that stage. I really wanted to get on that stage when he did Do Me Baby. I was like,
oh my gosh. Yeah, he was a performer. He could perform.
And he could sing. And then the first time I knew he had a deep voice is when I met him in Houston, and I was like, oh my God. Because every time you heard Michael Jackson talk, it was still that same voice. When that man said hi to us, and they were coming around, they were giving out passes to go backstage into the after party and stuff. And they would pick people, I would see people up there.
That's amazing. I've only seen him in concert, but you've seen him close up.
Yes. And I'm telling you, oh my God. And when, he had a few little, and this was like in the early 80s. I was still in high school. I was in 12th grade. And, he had a few little pimples, but you would see people pointing at people and didn't know what it was about. But that's the people they were pointing at to give passes to. You have a great weekend too. High palettes. He was sexy as shit. Jesus.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
I'm telling you. And then when, because me and David is funny. We had the same birthday. And one day I happened to call into the station. That's how we met. He was talking about Prince, and he was calling him his royal shortness. And I would get so mad. So I called in the station one day, and he and I were on the radio going back and forth. I'm calling from my house. I was just going off on him. And I told him, I said, I met him. You don't do it. I was going off. So one day I called in, and he says, I said, David, he goes, oh my God, the Prince lover. And he goes, I need to meet you. So we met out for drinks and stuff, and we just laughed, and come to find out he had the same birthday. We were the same age. We just laughed, and we hung out, and we never dated. We were really, really good friends. And to this day, up until like 5 years ago, I still had conversations with David. And I thought about him the other day. I said, I need to look and see where he's at. That's how I met Donnie Simpson and his wife. It was because of him.
Pretty-eyed Donnie Simpson. I used to love Donnie's eyes.
I met Sugar Ray Leonard. It was all because of David, because he was hanging out and in these crowds, and he would always invite us to these parties and stuff.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, but Donnie used to have some beautiful eyes.
Yep. I never did like his wife though. Never. And I never did like Sugar Ray Leonard. I liked him as a boxer, but when you meet him in person, he's arrogant. I never, ever, ever liked him. So
really?
Yes, never liked him.
I didn't think that he was such a nice guy. Wow.
Yep. I met Effie Berry, and that's when that was
really. And
Effie Berry was, everybody knew she was bisexual because she was actually dating one of the women on the news channel. Everybody knew she liked women. I always said her and Mary.
I never knew. Wow, really?
She and Marion Barry had a marriage of convenience. When you meet these people and you find out who they are.
Only one that I knew, well, this woman, she was a popular anchor, but she, like, I was young when I heard about this story, but some lady named Jessica Savage, they said that she was gay. I think she died in like a car accident or something.
I know that name.
She was some popular news anchor.
Yeah. But when you meet these people and, you know, when you go around them, I remember we went to, when Keith Sweat did that album, he had his, it was like a listening party thing. And I didn't know what they were called. But you meet all of these different people. And Chuck Berry, was it Chuck, doing the butt? Is that him?
Oh gosh, what was the name of that? Oh, I love that. Matter of fact, we was in what was it? We went to DC one time, and I never knew about.
That's where I lived at.
Right.
I lived in Maryland.
Because I didn't know anything about the whole go-go scene until I went there, and I was like, oh, I'm loving this.
Yeah, so I was living in Maryland, but of course it was right over the line, you know, DC, and I lived in Maryland, worked in DC.
Right, because what was it called? The DMV, right? DC,
DMV.
Virginia.
Yeah, DC, Maryland, Virginia. So I lived in Maryland, worked in DC. I went to school in Virginia. So you meet all of these people, and it's no big. But I used to hang out a lot of time on to 17th and K. That's where they had all the clubs and the go-go. You go to all the listening parties and stuff. So it was fun. I really, and that's why I actually broke my little toe one night, but they couldn't do anything with it because I accidentally kicked the fire hydrant. I was trying to kick some.
Oh my gosh! I know that happened to me. They had to, they had to bind my toe together because they said they couldn't do anything about it. It had to
and
heal
that's what
itself.
they did. They couldn't do nothing about it. They taped it. That's all they could do.
Yep.
That's all
They
they
said
did.
it had to heal itself.
Yep, I was in excruciating pain, but that was my fault because I was so pissed. I tried to. This was right.
Now, let me ask you.
It was a
It seems like you met a lot of people. Have you ever met Luther Vandross?
I did. Patti LaBelle and Luther was in DC. I had a cocktail nap, and then he actually said if I ever got married again, he would sing Here and Now.
Okay, because I wanted to ask you, how was his personality to you? Because I've heard so many stories about Luther.
He was really, well, he was nice. He and Patty was signing stuff. You can sit there and talk to him. You know, you go. He was, to me, he was really, really nice. I haven't heard anything bad.
The reason
about
why I asked because when I seen him in concert, it was him and Anita Baker, and it was a hot mess.
Anita Baker is a hot mess. She's a diva.
Oh, okay, because it was crazy.
Yep.
They were. I was like, who was the bigger diva at this concert? They were going back and forth. I was like,
they had a rivalry. If you remember, Luther and Anita came out at the same time. They said that Anita would never make it because of her voice, and Luther was. They said he was too ugly. Those were the words. He was too ugly. He said that in his concert. Remember, he was heavy with the Jerry curl and all the bumps. He used to write all the jingles and stuff. And
he did all the jingles. But you know what? I knew when I first found out about Luther, we were going to the roller skating rink when he was with this group called Change, and they did that song called Glow of Love.
Yep, that was Luther.
Yep.
But, he and Anita always had that rivalry. That's why I'm surprised they had a concert together. But he and Patti LaBelle, they had the best relationship.
Oh, Patti. Oh, Patti can do a concert. I've seen Patti. Patti throws down.
I saw Patti and Gladys Knight in Houston.
I've never seen Gladys. I've never seen Gladys Knight.
Oh my God. Thank you, Shiloh, for being here. But yeah, so it's just Smokey. It's funny. We were sitting in VIP for Smokey. We had a ball for Smokey. I'm telling you.
Oh my gosh. My niece met Smokey in Vegas. My niece lives in Vegas. She said that his eyes, she said she was so mesmerized that she was a waitress at a restaurant, and she was offering him some donuts or something. She said his eyes were so mesmerized and she dropped the whole thing on the floor.
Yeah, Vic, let me tell you, we were at the concert, right? So I'm yelling, Daddy, Daddy, because my mother used to play Smokey every damn day when she cruising. When the record was scratched, she would go get another one. So I'm up there screaming, Daddy, you owe us child support. These people in VIP, they were like, oh my God, that is his daughter. She's got eyes on. And the lady asked me, I said, no, I'm just being funny. I said, we took my mom to that concert. Yeah, I heard Parnell Whitaker was not nice at all. Breezy, I saw your comment. I never ever met him. But I've heard some stories about him and women too. But I'm telling you,
you know who I met on the Long Island Railroad? Well, this is then not a singer, but it was a soap opera actress. I met her when I was about 10 years old, and she was the most nicest woman I've ever met. So sweet. And she actually took time to talk to me. From All My Children, Susan Lucci.
Susan Lucci, right?
Oh my gosh, this woman was such a sweetheart.
She is a sweetheart.
She actually, like, she said to me, you're young and you know the story like that. I was like, yeah, my mom watches it. I watch it with her.
Yeah, that's the only reason I watched All My Children. It was for Susan Lucci and the one that Adam, you know, when he played twin brothers.
Oh my gosh, Adam and oh my God, what was the twin name?
I can't remember.
I
can't remember. But I'm telling you, and I was so happy when she finally got that Emmy because that woman was gorgeous.
Oh, they did her so wrong for so many years. She should have been won that Emmy.
Won that. But Susan Lucci, her husband just passed not too long ago.
Her husband I think about a year or so ago.
Yep.
Oh, she's such a beautiful.
Okay,
beautiful
Adam and
woman.
Andrew. Adam and Andrew.
There you go. There you go. She was such a nice, she was so lovely.
Yep. And then the other man, that had all the money, that had the daughter who didn't want her to marry the doctor. What was his name with the little Stuart Chandler? Yes, Stuart and Adam. That's what it was. Stuart and Adam.
Yeah, that's what it was.
The other rich man, with the little short guy with the fading hair, who had the daughter who was in love with the doctor. I liked him too.
Oh my God.
I can't remember. His
gosh.
name. But
there's so many characters that went through that soap opera. Oh my God.
So I don't know if you ever watched Days of Our Lives, but what time is it? Okay. I don't know if you ever watched Days of Our Lives, but when I was living in Teaneck, New Jersey, I happened to be flipping channels. I saw Tony Pengelis walk across the screen and I stopped. I said, oh my God. He played Tony DeMera on Days of Our Lives. That was the prettiest man I've ever seen in my life.
Really?
Yes. I started watching Days of Our Lives because of him. And then I realized that the lady that played his love interest, her son, she was married to the guy whose son died, and then she committed suicide.
You're talking about the it was so sad. First, was that the one that lost her son? She was married to Bill Bixby, the Incredible Doll.
Yes. She was with
Brenda Bennett.
Brenda Bennett. She was gorgeous. She was married to Bill Bixby, lost her son, and then she committed S. Yep.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So I started watching those but I was brought up on As the World Turns.
My gosh, I forgot that lady's name. She was a shit stirrer in As the World. Lisa.
Yeah, my grandmother. I'm telling you, I used to sit there with my grandmother during the summer vacations. I love spending time at my grandmother's house because it was CBS all day.
As the World Turns.
You remember the Edge of Night? You remember the Edge of Night?
Oh my God, I used to love that show, Edge of Night. Do you know I met the black guy that was the cop? Unfortunately, he passed away from HIV. Remember the black guy that was the cop, him and the white lady who had the baby by Clint Eastwood? They were the two cops.
I remember them. Yes, I remember them.
I met him on the train in Manhattan.
Girl, I love New York. Whenever I used to come to New York, I used to stay at the Millennium. That's why I stayed at the Millennium.
Really? Nice place. Nice place.
Yep, I stay at the Millennium, and right before 9/11. I was there like the year before, and we had been up to the Twin Towers. My son that comes on with me, when he comes in, he was there. And I'm telling you, it was like a shock, but I love the Millennium. And the first thing I said, oh my God, but they had a little structure damage, but I love the Millennium. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. A lot of places after 9/11, the roof.
It's still there. I said, when I go, I'm going to check into the Millennium. But when I go to Boston, I said the Boston Copley, right across from the convention center. And I try to get as high as possible so I can have the view of the city. So
that is so beautiful.
I used to do a lot of traveling from work, and now I'm getting ready to travel again because my granddaughter is no longer here. But I did a lot of traveling, and that was one thing that I did one summer. I took off family leave and I stayed home for it was right before school ended. I spent like 4.5 months with just hanging out with my sons and doing nothing else but and then I went back to work when school started. So yeah, because I traveled a lot. And one time I had to travel and I said, I can't go. I had nobody, and they bought tickets. Yeah. They said, well, we got a ticket now for him. I'm like, shit. So I had to go.
That is the best thing to do, is to travel.
But I spent a lot of time in New York, Hempstead, New York. Oh my God.
Wait, you said what part of New York did you just say?
Hempstead.
No, Hempstead, Hempstead. No, stop it. Who do you know in Hempstead?
A lot of people. I used to work for a company that imported it. Yeah, I know Stuart Ham. He now runs. He does the cigar boat racing.
I used to live for years. I lived for, oh my gosh, almost 30 years in South Hempstead.
Yep, I used to go to Hempstead a lot. I remember they took me to this one restaurant and they told me, we had this big old plate with little bitty food, hardly anybody in it. And that's when I found out that it was a mob front. And I'll say, don't ever bring me back here again.
Oh my God, that is so wow. It's talk about a small world.
Yeah, I used to go to Hempstead a lot. I spent a lot of time.
Oh my God, I haven't lived there in like over 15 years. I now live in upstate. I live in upstate New York now, but I lived in Hempstead for like 30 years.
Okay, so you're up around Albany and all of that?
Yes.
Okay, I've been around there. I don't go there during the winter.
Please don't. It's like only reason why I moved up here was because of a job opportunity. The job is no longer here, but when I got up here, I said this was not the best decision. It was the worst winter ever when I came.
I was offered a job in Hempstead at a meat. It's one of the meat things. I said, oh hell no, I'm not going there. It was good money, but I wasn't going there, not for the winter. But when they
Long Island. Between the ice storms and those winters, they're horrible.
When I went to, when the last time I was in Hempstead, they put me up at the Best Western. I said, the Best Western? I'm like, I'm not staying there. She goes, no, Heidi, this is a renovated Best. Oh my God, I was so impressed.
Wow. Oh, when you said the Best Western, I know what you're talking about now. I was thinking about the Marriott at first. I was like, no, that's a really nice one.
No, but they renovated the Best Western. That thing, because you think of Best Western, you think of a motel.
You think of a motel.
They used to put me up at the Hilton, and they didn't have any rooms so they put me at Best Western. I'm like, I'm not staying at no damn Best Western. But girl, when that car pulled up, I was like, okay, all right, I can do this.
Oh my gosh, yeah, they did a lot of I haven't been there in years because I have a best friend that still lives there, so she tells me, how things are like there.
That was like the early 90s. That was like the early 90s.
Yeah, but it's different now. I think the let's just say the African American community is the minority in Hempstead now.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, so it's more Latino.
Well, when I was there, it was a lot of Italians, and there was this one bakery. I'm trying to remember.
And you know what? You're right though, because when we first moved there, I was young. I was 9.
Yeah.
We had a lot of Italians on our block because I remember we had an Italian couple that lived across the street from us, and the mom used to always bake us these. I never tasted chocolate chip cookies like these before. And she used to make my mom like lasagna and chicken cacciatore and all kinds of great food.
Yep. I mean, they have a lot of, but Stewart is Jewish, and oh my God, these people were so scared. He was the owner of the company too, but they were scared. He goes, he said, you're not scared of me. I'm like, why would I be scared of you? I said, you throw something at me and hit me, I'm gonna go right down the street to that Jewish lawyer, and I'm gonna have a Jewish lawyer to sue your Jewish. That's what I told him. So he just looked at me and laughed. But when I would go just to hang out in New York, we would always be on 42nd Street. I saw fences there. I saw Poison and was it Poison and Old Lace or something? And then there was it was a restaurant on 42nd where I had the best bean. It was no meat. I'm trying to think of the name of that restaurant and that's when Nelson Mandela was there. I parked on the street, didn't realize that you couldn't park there. Girl, I was so scared. We went back to my car that it was going to have a boot on it. But that's when, so I used to hang out in 42nd.
Let's put a boot on your car real fast.
Because I lived in Teaneck, so I would hang out in the village too. I used to live in Teaneck.
Oh, wow.
I met Eddie Murphy when he was on Saturday Night Live. Did not know he was on Saturday Night Live. Never watched it. I used to hang out with Joey Robinson and them. That's Joey Robinson.
Eddie Murphy was right there from Roosevelt. I ran into Eddie Murphy many times before he got before he just around the time of Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, I never watched Saturday Night Live, so they kept telling me who he was. He was
hysterical on Saturday Night Live.
Yep, he was dating this girl that went to NYU. She was with him. I didn't know who he was. Do you realize that in that lap? Do you realize that next Saturday I made sure I watched Saturday Night Live to see if that was really him? It was him.
It was him.
I lived up the street from the Isley Brothers. Joey Robinson.
Really? Yeah, because they were right there in Jersey.
I was in Teaneck. I lived in Teaneck. And they were right.
Wow. Yeah, because that's where they're from.
Yep, they were right up the street from me.
Ron Isley and all them.
All of them were right up the street. Stevie Wonder had a house up there. When I left, Eddie Murphy bought a house in that area too. But I lived right there.
Wow. Wow. Yep. You met a lot of people. Wow.
It was a crowd of people that you hung with.
Yeah, that's true.
And I met Joey Robinson not knowing who his dad was. So I sent my mom a message because she used to play, Stand By Your Man. So she would play that all the time. So I called her. I said, guess who I met? Guess who lives behind me? 2 houses over. And she didn't believe me. So when I went over to the house one day, I asked, could I take a picture? That's where you had the Polaroid camera and stuff. Yes. And I mailed the picture to my mom, and she was now he died about 5 years ago. He died of colon cancer. The dad did. So and the Sugar Hill Gang and all of them. I used to go to
Sugar Hill, right? Because they were right from Jersey.
Yeah, I would go to all of that shit. We had fun. I had a ball.
I have a question. Like when you said Stand By Your Man, I have a question there's a lot of controversy going on now. Have you heard the 2 songs by Beyonce yet?
No, but I heard she's doing country music. I don't like Beyonce, and everybody finds that weird.
Wow. Because I've heard one of the songs and it's actually not bad.
I don't listen to her, and my granddaughter used to get upset. Why don't you like that? I said, I'm not listening to no Beyonce. And I used to live in Houston, and everybody, I don't like her. My sons don't like her. I don't know. But Benny King is the one that did. So yeah, he used to live right there. And his son Joey.
My mother used to love him. My mother used to love Benny King.
Yep. We used to hang out all the time. That's how I met Eddie Murphy. We went to this club in the village one Saturday night. I used to go to the Sportsman's Bar all the time in the village, and that's where all the athletes and stuff were. And then they would come in the Hackensack sometimes too. So.
Oh my God. You know what? When I don't know if I remember back, it was, oh my gosh, this place was crazy. But we had the best fun there. There was a club up in Manhattan called The Garage.
No, never been.
Oh my gosh. We used to have the best time in there.
Never been. The only time I would go into Manhattan, my brother-in-law had he had like 4 or 5 parking garages there. So that's the only time I would really go in. And then my sister-in-law used to work in the financial district. My first time driving in there, she told me, don't stop. Let them roll off your bumper. And I was like, oh my God. She goes, if you stop.
So you never went to any of the clubs? Like you never been to the Red Parrot or the Silver Shadow?
No, I was there. I'm going to tell you when I was there. I was there when I lived in Teaneck. It was like the early 80s. It was before I left Teaneck, probably like 84, 85. Yeah, I was in Teaneck for like 5-6 years. Because when my husband went to Alaska, I didn't go to Alaska. I went to Teaneck. So
oh, okay.
And then so I was in Teaneck for a while. I love Teaneck too.
Yeah, because we used to always go to the city to the clubs because Hempstead never had any great clubs out there.
When I went into the city, we would always be in the village. Always in the village.
I used to hang out with in the summers. I used to hang out with my girlfriends in the village because they knew a lot about Manhattan, and we used to just hang out at like everywhere. We were everywhere.
Now I have a friend that used to live in Midtown Manhattan in one of those well, they're called studios now, and that's when I was telling. I told that one before. That's when I found out that she was an escort. She had a badass apartment, though. I was like,
oh, I could imagine.
You do.
I could imagine.
She would go on dates. She was an escort. That's what
I could imagine.
Yep. So I don't know what happened, but Cranky, and I have no idea. I'm not even reading the chat. I am just
I'm sorry, I monopolized all your time.
That's okay. We're just having a conversation and something's going on in the chat. I have no idea what's going on in the chat. People are, I'm sorry if I offended. I have no idea. So I'll have to go back and read the chat later. But guys,
I haven't looked. I haven't been reading.
No, we're just having a conversation and I'm enjoying it. But I really need to get off because I need to get I need to jump in. I'm not taking a bath because I'll be in there for hours. I need to jump in the shower, get ready. I'm meeting some people.
And it was so nice meeting you. It was definitely
stay out the bushes, girl. Come in the chat. Yes, come in the chat. But don't be in the bushes. You can come out. My chat is really nice. Really, really nice. So
now that you know me, I'll come out in the chat. Like a lot of times I miss a lot of the live streams and I have to go and listen to the replay part, but this time I just happened to be up and I got a notification that you were on, so I went to see what your topic was today.
Yep. So today, I put it in the topic so people know what I was talking about this morning. Normally, when I do morning coffee, we talk about all kinds of shit. So,
but I will look back. I'm not going to hold you no more, but I will look back to see when you're doing the Tessa thing, because I'm going to definitely come back in the chat when you do that.
Yeah, so I need to get like kind of immersed in it. I need to listen to it, and I might break it up. Like you say, she has 50 episodes. I'm not doing all 50 episodes.
Oh yeah, it's 50. It's 50 whole episodes.
Okay, so I'm going to probably break them up into segments, but I am going to immerse myself into that, and I can listen to that as I'm driving or while I'm at work. I have something to listen to so I can get, the full story, and I'll do it in segments. So I would definitely have a great weekend, Tina. I would definitely be doing that. But Vic, you're welcome on panel anytime because
thank you so much.
Is and I'm sure you have insights on a lot of different stories, or you might follow stuff that that I cover. Please, if you want to come up on panel, all you have to do is tell me, Heidi, could you drop the link, and I'll drop the link for you. Promise you.
Thank you. Now that I know how to do it, this is the first time I ever been on anyone's panel.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to show you how to turn off, because there's a button there that it shows like a camera. It looks like, and all you have to do is click it and it'll turn your camera off. But
okay.
Yeah, but thank you for coming out. Let me see what's going on in this chat.
Thank you so much, and thank the chat also for putting up with me.
Well, they were having fun with your insight. So again, whenever you want to come up, you just tell me, drop the link, and I'll drop it for you.
Okay, thank you so much, and enjoy your weekend.
I'm getting ready to go have fun.
Well, have fun.
Have a good weekend, Vic.
Okay, thank you so much.
All
You
right,
do the
sweetie, I'm
same.
gonna drop you now. So in case you don't know how to get out, I'm gonna drop you.
Yes,
Okay?
drop me. Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye. So I don't know what's going on. Crazy purple Kirby lady. I see you're saying I'm super sorry. Well, I know what that's about. I don't know what you said or did to Cranky. I have no idea. But guys, please, 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 please. Please, please. Hi, Margene, sweetie. How are you? I saw you went live. I saw the notification yesterday. So I'm going to go back in and look at your anniversary party. I would definitely listen to that. How are you, Margene? It's so nice to see you. I don't know if Savage is going to go live today. I know she was supposed to do a garage live. I think it was last night, but I don't remember seeing a notification. But guys, thank you for hanging out with me. And I really, really didn't mean to be on here this long. Okay. Yes. I appreciate that. I really, really do. I appreciate you coming in here apologizing. I really do. It takes a big person to come in and apologize. And thank you for that. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I know some people are not going to accept your apology, and that's their right to not to accept the apology. But you came in and you did apologize. So I really appreciate that. Oh, you're going to see Colin. I really appreciate that. I really, really do. Okay. Good. Stay away from Lil Shit Stir. I kind of went back and I listened to, well, not kind of. I went back and listened to stand-up guys, and I went to where you were on panel because they told me you were on panel with them, and I didn't realize that you ever went on panel with them. So I went back and I actually listened to you up there then too. And I also went back and I listened to Lisa Marie on panel because I got the timestamps for that. But thank you for coming in and apologizing. I really appreciate it. But you already know some people are not going to accept your apology. And that's their right, like I said. But again, thank you guys for being here. And I really didn't mean to stay on here this long, but I really enjoyed talking to Vic. And she was talking about some interesting things in the chat. She and Shyla both. And I didn't know that people were actually following them for this long. So when Chad Daybell is now in court, I'm going to have to catch up on that and see what's going on with that. But I really enjoyed that. I know you have. I know you have. And that's why I told them that you've been with me for a long time and you've been a member for a long time. So, you know, I just, you know, the people get caught up in things and, you know, we all make mistakes. We all do. So, you know, I'll give a second chance. But I mean, that's just me. Some people don't give no chances, but I always try to be fair to people. And the fact that you've come in and you've apologized, I really appreciate that. So everybody have a great weekend. Tomorrow morning, I'm not sure, but we're going to be, thank you for gifting membership, sweetie. I really appreciate that. Who got the memberships? As soon as it comes up, I'll let you know. But I really want to say thank each and every one of you for being here. I really enjoyed. My stars are gone. I don't see, I normally can see who gives what. Hold on. Let's see. Aesop's received a membership. Just Beetle received a membership. Snuggle Bunny received a membership. And Undercover Dung received a membership. Thank you so much, sweetie. You guys have a great weekend. I'll be back tomorrow morning. I'll probably be on about 6:37, but I'll definitely try to put the time up in time for you guys to come join the chat. Who knows what we talk about tomorrow morning? Shit, we might talk about BS. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how I feel. Have a great weekend, everybody. I will see you soon. Bye. Matter of fact, no, I can't play Winning. I got to find another song, Jen. I said I was going to get my music and stuff back together. But you guys have a great, great weekend. Aesop's, thank you for coming on panel. Last week, I really appreciated hearing you. Don't forget, Cranky, you got to let me know what happened because I don't know. But Please, no fighting in the chat. Can we all just get along? Let's use Rodney King. Can we all just get along? Thank you, guys. Oh, the guy's name was Rodney Reed. Rodney Reed, who went to the Supreme Court to get his stay of execution. And I need to double check to see if his date has been set because they refused to give him a new trial. So I'll definitely have to catch up on that. Thank you, guys. Have a good one. Bye.